All right, guys, today we're going to record a full masterclass session on how to generate the most amount of leads possible and actually close them and turn them into clients. So I'm here with Matt, who's an absolute G and a master at this. So we're going to go through the full end-to-end cycle. We're going to draw out absolutely everything. And by the end of this masterclass, you're going to have an exact strategy to generate as much leads as possible and turn them into clients. So what's the most important thing that you think of when it comes to generating more leads?
Sick. Let's draw it because we've got this iPad, which is going to be really fun to use. Okay, so let's quickly go through, and thanks for having me yesterday. The mastermind was epic. Really good. Let's go through like what's happening currently right now. So the best way, what used to work where people used to have essentially people used to use what's called a lead system. And back 10 years in the day, people could just book a call on the calendar immediately and then they'd buy. But buyers are becoming more skeptical now. So what you really want to be building now is what's called a trust system. Because if you have absolute trust, it means it just lubricates the purchasing process. Mm-hmm. Because if everyone in the world trusted everyone and nobody lied, there'd be no need for sales at all, period. Because everyone would trust everyone. So as you're thinking through building this system, before I kind of show you every single tactic, and I booked 5,000 meetings from LinkedIn, 100% organic as well. So it's in 2 years. And so
That's fucking crazy, man.
And so it's pretty hectic, and I'll go through everything. But when you think about it, little bad boy. When you think about it, right? When you're building trust with another individual, there's 6 gates of trust that people actually walk through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because you don't just automatically trust them. It takes time to trust people. And so when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking, okay, there's 6 gates of trust that people actually need to walk through. How do I build trust with people? Because the more they trust me, the more likely they're going to buy. So the 2 ways to build trust are, 1, you build familiarity with someone else. So, me and you meeting in person, me talking to your mastermind yesterday, we have a lot in common. We have a lot of trust for each other. Also, I'm sure, if you go away and you see someone else Irish overseas, you immediately connect with them because they're Irish. I do it with Australians, and that's familiarity, something in common as well. We both train, all that kind of stuff. The second thing is value. So if you can give someone else value and familiarity, so if they're from the same hometown as you, or they're into soccer and you're into soccer, or Warhammer, I used to paint that when I was a kid, and you're into Warhammer, and they can give you value, that's how you build trust. Look at the ultimate value person is Alex Hormozy. People read his book, they did the stuff, they made money, immediate trust.
And then they also went on to buy his other stuff.
Exactly. I paid the $6,000 at 2 a.m. in the morning. I didn't even read the landing page. I just fucking clicked buy. He put the landing page up and I scrolled through and I was like, buy, before he even said what the bonuses were, which is funny. But because of that, that's why lifestyle content is really valuable. Because, if you go to the gym or you have a dog, you got 6 dogs around us right now. You got dogs, you guys got dogs as well. Someone has dogs, so that's familiarity. And so that's why building personal brand matters as well, because they like you. I interviewed a candidate who's Irish. He came to me through your stuff.
No way.
Yeah, he's literally, dude, he's like, that Darren guy, I fucking love that guy. Literally. And I was like, so he came to me, so his familiarity and trust was built there. So you're looking to, have stuff in common with other people and give them value. And value can also be in the form of comedy. Your favorite comedians. My favorite comedians, there's one guy called Carl Barron. He's an Australian guy. I get all his jokes. Another guy called Akash Singh. He's a US guy. And because my partner's Indian, he's Indian, I get heaps of the jokes. So I click on his videos. And so because of this, use these things to build trust. Now, when we're actually building trust, what it requires is it also requires time and it also requires touches. So, and let me just quickly go back. When we talk about trust, the way everyone starts in the beginning as a stranger. So a stranger you don't trust for a bar of soap. The other side of the coin is what's called an identity ally. So when we're sitting there yesterday and one of your clients is a 20-year-old making $35K a month, he probably fucking tells other people about your stuff. He's a legend, right? And so he's an identity ally of you. So there's a spectrum of trust that you actually trust people on. Now, to build more trust, you've got to have familiarity and value, give that to them, but you've got to do it over time, and you've got to do it with qualified touches. So when I first came over here and we recorded a podcast earlier this year or what it was, we built trust, and then I come back, we built more trust. And so we have and so the more time that you get to know someone, it builds trust. And so when we look at that, you look at, okay, there's time, there's touches, we need familiarity and value, because you have to have nothing in common with someone else. It's hard to trust them. And then the way you do it, when you're moving through these 6 gates, is you do it through content. That's one-to-many trust building. So you put something out and a lot of eyeballs read it. You also have chats or conversations. And so either in the DMs, in person like this, at an event, on a group call, whatever it is, a workshop. And the other one, which you don't control, is word of mouth. And so if we're looking at this, you got to have something in common with someone, you've got to exchange some value, you got to spend time with them, you got to meet them a few times. And if they consume the content, you have some good chats, and then other people say good stuff about them. That's the perfect storm of actually building trust.
It's a flywheel, effectively.
Yeah, literally the flywheel. So the word of mouth is the ultimate one, right? That's really what you want to create as well. Now, when we're looking at building trust, the whole issue with AI right now is that most people start at negative trust. So most people, when you look at the internet and you look at it now, AI can create anything, so no one trusts anything. So when you actually produce content, you're starting from a point where the person's like, you're fake, you're a scammer, you're not real, prove me otherwise.
Yeah.
That's like, so it's actually harder to earn trust now unless you're building personal brand, which is the only moat as well. Because if someone doesn't know you or your personal brand, there's no point of familiarity, they're not going to trust you. Like they will not. And
especially with AI content, right? When you
exactly.
see the AI
And the more that people are understanding how good AI content is and AI video and everything, this is going to become even harder. This is why personal brand is even stronger.
One of the best things I always see on LinkedIn with this is like, if you see someone's post and there's like spelling mistakes in it, I like the post no matter what, because I'm like, at least you wrote the fucking thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
So used to seeing like the same garbage of like how Justin Welch's posts are, then just rewrite this in my fucking niche using AI.
Yeah, exactly. And the hard thing as well with AI content, so we can go into that later, but like you shouldn't be using AI to write your content. The reason is because the best content in the world is someone's inner monologue in their brain. So when you're reading a really good book and you're reading it, you're not thinking that the other person thought this. You're taking it in and in your mind as you read it, you're saying it out loud in your mind, and then you're consuming it like your own thought. So the reason why you need to write your own content is because you write your own thoughts, and your thoughts are random, and they're coming from your mind, and you're projecting your random thoughts in your brain to someone else in your point of view. And the whole purpose of content is for someone to listen to it and consume it and either feel an emotion, do something, or have some reaction to the content. And if it's not from something that you created, you're creating influence, but not from yourself, which is a problem. So what you want to do is everything needs to come from yourself because you want to create influence for you. The whole point of content is to create a lot of people that you can influence. You can get to, which is brand, which is getting people to comply with your request. That's the whole purpose of it. But if you're using AI as the nexus of the content, the influence that they correlate to is the influence of the AI algorithm and not you. So you actually don't have influence. So there's a lot of guys on LinkedIn right now who are saying, I saw a post today, so I commented on it. I can show it to you in a sec. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I created this AI tool and I gained 10,000 followers and I did this and you can write AI content like me too. But the problem is all the content that he's spitting out actually isn't from his own brain, so he's not correlating to his own brand.
And then when people buy their stuff, they're like, wait, this guy doesn't even believe this. He just wrote this content because that's what satisfies the algorithm.
Satisfies the trend in the algorithm.
And he doesn't even know how to implement it.
Exactly.
Right?
And so he doesn't know what taste is or what good looks like. It's really difficult.
And that taste is for every platform, which is ironic,
Everything.
right? It's like, even if it's text-based or especially video-based, it's like what your stamp is, no matter how good or bad it is. Even if it's shit, it's like, at least you believe in something.
Yeah. And the other problem is like, let's say we take like, because a lot of people go like, you probably have a lot of clients who are like, I want to create viral content, right? And you're probably like, no, create sales content. And they're like, no, get more views. And so then, but when you think about it, like when you scroll through Instagram, when you're watching entertainment content, do you remember a single person's name or profile? Zero. Like, what's stuff that who you follow on Instagram, who you buy from?
People I buy from are people that were like a little bit ahead of me, right? So they're guys that have programs, they're teaching things. So they could be just teaching anything to do with like content, sales, building offers, could be even to do with actually making content. But it's that tactical content that's really like empowering. That shows you how to actually do shit.
And the reason why is you're familiar with that and it gave you value.
And what's funny is because it's familiar to me, it has very little engagement. That's the thing, right? Yeah. That's the big thing is that it has little engagement, which is good.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And then of course, then they use that to get the right people. So yeah, it's an inverse correlation, right? Like it's in like saying cash, it's always been the case, right?
Yeah. And so like that's kind of why. And so that's why a lot of entertainment content, like Hormozy ran the experiment where he said that entertainment didn't correlate to clients. Because it's so different because people are consuming it differently. When you put on Netflix and watch TV with your partner and you're going to watch a movie, you're not in a buying state. you're in a buying state of mind. So it's very, very different. So you've got to be in that. That's why obviously multi-content like Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, having it together, longer form like we're doing right now.
Yep.
You know, maybe someone came from our short form or wherever it is or emails, come here and now it's longer form. So we're trying to build familiarity and value with people. Now, because everyone's starting at negative trust, you've got to prove them otherwise. So personal brand is very, very key because if your personal brand is very strong, they can automatically trust you because there's other people, there's mutual connections on LinkedIn or they got a lot of followers or one of your friends like their post, which creates. And so then we walk through the steps of like, okay, how do we build trust? So the first stage of building trust itself, if you look at the stages, let me get this centered, is people are looking at content and they're saying to themselves, is this post real? So that's the very, very first thing people are looking at. And so, because if something's not real, you won't trust it. If it doesn't exist. And so the first thing is people scan through content like, is this real? Is this not real? This is why good looking quality design and brand matters because a lot of, like I was working with one of your guys, right?
Yeah.
And you know, he's 20, making 35 grand a month, killing it. I'm like, dude, if you just change your profile photo and you don't look dodgy, you'll get twice as many leads. And he's like, fuck. And so he's like, but these little things that some people don't understand. Older people get it. You know, that's why they dress nice and present yourself. But younger people have a problem where they're like, I don't care what someone looks like when they dress. Yeah, but old people do if you sell to them.
And they have to dress up, right? And then rich people dress down.
Yeah. And so like there's a lot of realness in like if you're a 21-year-old agency owner, go get a photo shoot and look older, and you'll close more deals. Because if you're selling to an accounting firm, if they look at you and you've got a photo there, you're holding a drink or something, which is fine, but like they're not going to take you seriously. Yeah. And so the real is the first thing. So the second stage as well, building trust. So someone's thinking, is this for me? So like, is this real? And then is this for me? So someone follows you, they might go to the gym. You're talking about content. They go, you're real. You're at this place in Bali. You go to this like gym here called like Nirvana, whatever it's called. And then you're like me, which is like, okay, I'm also a gym guy. Like I like that as well. And then you're talking about this and how you've been training and people are like, okay, this is fucking for me. Like, I like this guy, you know, he's familiar, trust. Now, the third stage, once you've walked through this, where most people fuck up here and they only create content that takes someone up to here, because the third stage is what we call, I'm going to make it this color because it's important, it's called the snowflake stage. So the snowflake stage is everyone in their whole entire life thinks that they're a special snowflake. How do I erase? Which one's that?
Back here?
Oh, that one there? That's probably erase.
In the corner here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we'll leave that there. Yeah, so everyone thinks that they're a special snowflake. And because of they're a special snowflake, that's why niching down matters. So you don't have to niche on a very specific industry, a very specific thing, but you can niche on a problem.
100%.
A very specific problem that somebody has. And because niching is ultimately like, when we really think about it, so if we go down here, because like when you think about fundamentally in business, every business is taking someone, there, all right, we're getting used to this, is taking someone from A to B with a unique mechanism and they're taking a specific person there. That's every business. And so the reason why niching matters is because when someone consumes your content, if you're only talking about like one problem and helping them get one thing, then it's very relatable. Yeah. Because then you can speak in their language and all that kind of stuff. So your client who works with real estate agents in the US, he can speak the lingo, which makes sense. Because otherwise, if you don't go niche enough in the specific problem you solve, in the content, people need to talk to you to understand what you do.
To double tap on that, if it's what is the problem you solve instead of who you solve it for, when you're explaining what the problem is and when you're using the lingo of like mortgage-backed securities, people are going to identify this is for me. Yeah. Right? It's the language and back to familiarity. It's actually quite interesting because we manage a lot of investing podcasts. Yeah. And most specifically when they were talking about, when we were helping them like grow the channel, we would use lingo like compound. We would say the words of their industry so that they felt like we actually knew their industry as well. Yeah. It's just a huge, small mental shift because otherwise you're literally speaking like Japanese to someone speaking English.
Yeah, exactly. People have to feel like you're an insider. So like, you know, if I grew up on the northern beaches in Sydney. So if I meet someone overseas, I'm like, yeah, I'm from the beaches. Like no one else would know that, but if they're from Sydney, they'll know what that is. And so I'm sure there's lingo from home where you come from, right? Like we're in Bali here.
Oh man, there's a whole new language in Ireland. Exactly. Don't worry about it.
But if you wanted to target those, like you would put that in your content in the writing.
I actually have a funny story. I have a client that's actually from Sydney, and it's a long time ago. And like I haven't been back in Ireland in many years, and like I'm kind of very disconnected from Ireland. However, when I joined the call, the woman was from Ireland. I didn't know she was from Ireland originally. And she joined and she had an Irish accent. And she was like, I love Ireland so much. I can't wait to go home. And I was like, same. And because it's familiar, that's what we connected on. And then she's like, I can trust this person because he's Irish.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't say you should trust me because you're Irish. That was her interpretation of the scenario because it was familiar to her.
Yeah, because you feel it's safe. Everyone's looking for safe. Like, everyone is in business when they're looking to buy something. They're trying to feel safe and they're trying to avoid pain. It's like everything is like avoidance of pain. That's like everything. And so for her, it's familiar, comfortable. She feels like she can purchase off you and trust you. Even though maybe she actually doesn't know if you could trust the person. Like, you don't actually know, but your brain can do a mental shortcut.
That's the word. It's a shortcut.
It's a heuristic. It's a mental shortcut. And so now we got the snowflake stage, right? Now after the snowflake stage, we've got stage 4. So if you feel like your stuff's real, first you pass the weirdo test where you're actually like they can somewhat trust you. You're real. It's for them. You understand their special snowflake situation. Now before they buy, we're looking at then risk. So someone's then saying, okay, if I do this now, what's the risk of happening as well? And so if I click on this video to watch it, what is the risk? The risk is I'm going to lose 8 minutes and it's not going to be good. But if I trust the person a lot, I can get past the risk because I know it's going to be good. So if other people watch your content and they're watching this now, they're like, who's this fucking Australian guy on here? But they might be like, yeah, but I followed Darren's stuff before, so the risk of me watching this is low. It's like
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
And so that's like risk. Now the 5th one this is kind of like the buy phase of where we're looking, is it a now thing? So this is where, like, when you were teaching sales yesterday, very interesting W there. But as you were teaching sales yesterday, you were teaching how to, like, on the call to, like, get people to commit to the now, because it's right for them. They need to do it. Now you, the salesperson, have to ask a couple uncomfortable questions so they commit.
Yep.
And so this is the now phase. And when this is usually the buy phase, you want to get people to now, because if you really hard close them when they're at the risk and snowflake stage, they'll regret the purchase and they'll want to leave because they didn't make the decision themselves.
100%.
And so when you've got the now phase, it's like, okay, I'm ready for this now.
Have you ever heard of the analogy of, it's not an analogy, it's an example of when people get a cardiac arrest?
Yeah.
You heard the story?
No.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
So in this window, so area 5, they have to make the decision. Okay. Big part of coaching or info is that you can't make the decision for someone. So the example of this is, I think it's like 90% of people that get a cardiac arrest get another one within 3 years. And the reason being is because doctors are not trained with emotional intelligence. They usually come in, they say, hey, you had this issue because you've a heart issue and your food's bad and do you want to live? And you're like, yeah, that's right. You're like, you're so right. You're so right. When you say you're right, you don't take ownership. So if you're like, you should do this, you can say, you're right. Whereas if I came in and said, Matt, do you want to be around for your kids? You're like, that's right.
Creating fear.
Yeah. Do you want to live this life over and over again? No, that's right. Then you take ownership of the decision. And then when they buy, they're like, well, I am ready to go.
The decision.
Yes. So that's really important for coaching because in services, they have to put the trust in you.
Yep.
So this can lead to this kind of like resentment.
Coaching is a higher trust.
Exactly.
100% agree with you. That's a really good description as well. They need to implement that. So then we look at now. And then afterwards is usually kind of the buy phase. And then you get to stage 6, which is a part of you in them. So is a part of you, of what you teach, or whatever you've done, right, somewhat benefited them somehow. So I mentioned that comedian Akash thing right now, and I mentioned Hormozy now. Part of them is their philosophy is part of my ideology because I've talked about them. So I've embodied some of their teachings as well, and that's when it becomes you. And so that can have levels of extreme as well. How much people tell others about you, but that also depends on their personality type, whether they talk. So we won't get into that. But is a part of you, part of them, and this is the whole entire process. Which I wrote a book on this, which we can put below. It's free. Yep. It's called Fuck Selling, Build Trust. It talks about the stages of the process. Now,
just to double tap on this, so I want to ask you a question: is this around mainly? They are becoming the identity that you have.
So let's say a client comes in your program.
Yep.
They start doing the work. They get a result. They keep doing the work and they build a habit of themselves. And then that habit becomes part of who they are. They embodied that from you. Okay. And then that part of you is in them.
Got it.
So it's like they're doing something that you teach as a principle. And then they've taken that and they've done it consistently that it becomes an automatic thing that they think about.
Yeah.
So you kind of take a mental bandwidth in their brain.
And as Tom describes this a lot, who you met at the weekend, is about one advantage for someone working with you or working with me is that it's not just the tactics and the frameworks. It's like having your downloads as to like the identity of that person. So,
Yeah.
so they start to embody components of you.
Yeah.
So like you're someone who just hammers LinkedIn. You're always going to be doing it. They see that in life in real time. That's literally like part of the investment. It's like the circle of
the
influence.
aspirational identity and what makes it possible. Like, you know, we ran a mastermind this weekend. You had clients come to the mastermind. Heaps of them will renew because they had so much value.
Yeah.
But being exposed to these other entrepreneurs, there were newer people with more experienced people. Like it brings everyone up.
Yes.
As together as one. It's like culture as well.
I never realized that how strong that is because it's maybe something that I don't value as much.
Yeah.
But other people value that so much. It's like that sense of community, you know.
Like
and
everything.
I value it too, but it's not like frontal cortex as my highest. Oh my god, I need to focus on this so much.
Yeah.
But when you see people in a room like that and they're all working together, it's like it's like that is arguably more important than like what you're teaching. Right. Sometimes, you know.
Yeah, if you think about anything from like a nexus point of things, it's like humans survive through culture and community. It's like how we've done it for so many years. And so like the way you kill a human is you put them by themselves and they die. It's like, you know, like, and they go crazy. And so like people want to be part of something. And that's why I think, you know, your staff, when I was hanging around with them, they have a good community.
Yeah.
You know, they like each other. And, but you've mentioned this to me, you're like, I trust them.
Yeah.
Like, and that takes a weight off you because then they can embody part of your guys' meaning and your mission and all that kind of stuff. And then from that, then they exude that onto the clients. So ultimately as a founder, really the meta skill is actually bringing in people. 100%. It's not actually clients, because if you bring in good people, then they can bring in clients and then they embody the whole process of what's actually happening as well. Yeah. But a lot of that comes all down to trust. So like when I think about like trust, you know, why you don't want a salesperson who does triple the amount of sales as everyone else, but they're a fucking liability, is you don't trust them, and so they take up mental bandwidth in your brain because you're worried about it. Because as a founder or any business owner, the thing that's most valuable to you is your bandwidth. That's the most valuable thing. So all you're trying to do is clear bandwidth. Yep. Clear. And the easiest way to clear bandwidth is get high trusting staff members that you trust that are level 6 for you as well, which is super key. And so this is kind of like the whole process where content nowadays, what you're really trying to do, like, can we go to a new page?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
you can just come back here, hold it down.
Oh, perfect. Can we come back to the other one, or it's gone now?
I think it's gone forever.
It's gone now. Go back and pause it. Because what you're really trying to do within content is the only moat left in business is the personal brand moat, when you think about it. Because what you used to be able to do is you used to be able to, you know, pay 50 grand to a marketing agency and they'd build an amazing website and you're heaps credible. Used to be able to build software and have a code base that was very protected, soon to be gone. Every single competitive advantage, other than like physical infrastructure, you know what I mean? Like everything digital. So if you're in any services-based business, nothing else fucking matters other than your personal brand mode. Everything else will become automated. Because people and all human beings are doing is why people love personal brands is because human beings are lazy. And because we're lazy, we don't like making decisions. Because every decision you make in your day takes up a certain amount of willpower within the amount of willpower. That's why you look at like the tech guys and stuff and how they just like have a very simple routine. They cut out a lot of stuff. Like my coach, Taki Moore, he wears a black shirt when he works and he wears a white shirt on the weekend. Fucking that's it. That's like what he does. And so that's his thing. Because you need to remove all laziness or decisions out. So like I know you get a lot of food delivered here. Because you guys don't want to cook. Obviously you're not going to cook in Bali, but like you don't want to cook. But that's smart laziness as well. And so because human beings are lazy, you want to reduce all the decision fatigue. And so ultimately I pulled up a stat, but I did a presentation. We did an in-person workshop last week, and it was 92% of people trust humans over brands, even if the human is a stranger on the internet, over a brand as well.
Which I guess you don't know who's behind the brand, as in like, is it Melanie from marketing?
Do you resonate with them?
No, that's the whole point.
You don't resonate with the brand. Now, there's good brands like Nike, just do it. They've crafted this culture over years, but the brand happened through, you know, Michael Jordan wearing the shoes and like, you know, they're using all the athletes as like, you know, they might say Serena Williams is part of Nike and someone's like, I fucking love Serena Williams. And so like they have an association. So they've crafted an association. But like when you really think about it, this is like an association.
Okay.
And so when you're looking at human beings are inherently lazy, and so what they don't want to do is they don't want to have to make decisions. And so because of it, you look at the most classic one is a movie. You watch a movie, and if you see, your favorite actor in it, if I see Liam Neeson in his 17th movie about some kidnapping, I'm probably going to watch it because I like Liam Neeson, you know what I mean? Like, he's got Taken 74, It's like, but it's like, I'm watching Liam Neeson, I'm like, that's why actors are so valuable in a movie, because they create a mental shortcut that someone has to actually do it. And so that's why personal brand is the only moat. Now, obviously, there's a physical infrastructure moat. So if you look at OpenAI, why did the US government, why are they investing $500 billion in infrastructure? Because infrastructure is a moat, like compute is a moat, energy is a moat, like food. But when we're talking about services-based businesses, which we're only talking to here, and even like say e-commerce businesses, a lot of the time, like obviously that brand matters itself, but like let's say services only, it's like.
But even look at like a Nick Bare and his nutrition, right? Like a lot of my own clients who are fitness guys, they just want to buy his stuff because he's Nick Bare.
But it's they want to buy his stuff, but they actually just don't want to think, and they want to buy things that will get them the result that they want, which alleviates their pain.
And arguably this stuff could be complete shit.
Exactly, but it actually doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter because they're
if
aligned to it.
Even if the stuff's 70% good, you still never make a decision.
Yeah.
And because human beings as well, like we actually don't care that much if everything's not excellent. We just care if it's not shit. Like we just like, as long as it's not shit, people go to the same coffee shop every day and they're like, look, it's not shit, but it's not the best.
Yeah.
Because but I trust it. Expectations align with our reality, and human beings, like there's a coffee that I get every day. It's like a $15 pour over coffee. And it's black coffee. It's a geisha. It's a V60. It's fucking amazing. But if I give that to someone walking in the shop who's getting a large cappuccino with 2 sugars, they're going to drink that fucking shit. Like, what is this? It's like if you go to a steak restaurant and you get like some amazing caviar or whatever, but it sucks. I was expecting steak. And so people want to pay for things that they like align with. So as long as it's not shit, then it's okay. And so it doesn't need to be exceptional as well.
And also in like that would be like a perfect market whereby it would need to be perfect. Whereas in reality, if they see something that's marginally like high quality, they will actually do the necessary steps to realign and basically align with that decision.
Yeah.
So what is that term? There's a specific term for it. So it's like a bias. Consistency bias.
Yeah, consistency bias.
So you have to be consistent with the previous decisions you've made. So if you spend $5,000 and it's good, you're going to realign that decision, and you'd recommend people.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like people, they're just lazy. And it's not that they're bad people, they're lazy, or like, it's just the human condition of like what we are is we're wired from, because we look at ourselves from the wild. Let's say we're living in the fucking jungle, right? We've got a certain amount of energy that we have in our day. And so our brain needs to function in a way that makes us inherently lazy, not to use the juice that we have to do the things, because we need to conserve it as well. That's why you got like problems with like overeating, eating sugar, because you're in a lot into fitness, like you'd understand this, like psychology between like the reason sugar tastes so good is because before it was so hard to access and stuff like that. And so like there's so many things because human beings are essentially like lazy. That's why like breaking out and starting a business and everything is like actually so difficult, like emotionally, because you have to actually be a weirdo and be rejected from society. And like, and so you can't actually be lazy. So you have to find a slice of the matrix and you have to go through like out of it. So personal brand is like the ultimate moat that's actually left as well, because the personal brand, it's the ultimate trust mode, because eventually no one will trust anything online other than the recommendation of someone they know, because everything will be fake. It will. And so that's what's going to happen. Like, and it's happening right now. And everyone, like I did a workshop last week and I was like, our first paid workshop in Sydney, we had 2 sessions. One was like 25 people and one was 20 people. And every time I was like, who trusts nothing online anymore until they're proven otherwise? I'm like, everyone's got their hand. Because like no one trusts anything. Yeah. And so because of this, personal brand is like the most important moat. Now, there's a myth with personal brand that says that you have to post content online to build a personal brand. One of the most successful mortgage broker in Australia that I know, Justin Dubob, who lives in a $20 million house, he doesn't post any fucking content. But he's just helped people for 20 years. So he has a personal brand inbuilt. That's why, if you're a legitimate business owner and you start producing content, you just go fucking super saiyan.
Oh,
because like you've actually already got an epic. So everyone has a personal brand, whether you like or not. Whether you post content or not is irrelevant. Content is just a way, that essentially all content is it's how you can build trust one to many. That's like literally what it is. But you don't have to have like content as well, but you do have to talk to a lot of people. That is a requirement. And content just helps you talk to more people essentially. Like I got in an Uber the other day. It was a couple of months back, and it was a hire car. So it said HC. It was in Sydney. So it was a hire car. I was like, "Fuck's this?" And it was like a really nice Audi. And I get in the car, and the guy turns around, he like shakes my hand. He's like, "I'm Sam." And I was like, "Fuck, what is this?" Brings me back to like Uber 15 years ago, where everyone was like super nice.
Pre-Uber.
Like Sam, pre-Uber. Sam, how are you? Did you want a water? Did you want something? And I was like, "What's going on, man?" And he's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Dude, I'm just between like runs." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, well, I actually run like a hire car business, and what I do is I do Uber between the trips." He's like, "I got a client from JP Morgan who I drive." And I was like, "Oh yeah, how long have you been doing this?" And he's like, 14 years. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I've got like 200 staff around New South Wales. And I was like, what? And he's like, how'd you do that? And he's like, well, I started off just driving, and I did Ubers. And I think he was doing maybe cab, whatever it was before that. Yeah. And he's like, all I do is people get in the car, and I introduce myself, and I give them my card. He gave me his card. Because like, he gave me the card before he said he had 200 people. Because then I was like, oh, my father-in-law would love this guy because he has a driver in Bulgaria. And so he'd love this guy. He was super well put together. Like, he was really well manicured as well, which really mattered. He had like a really good beard. And I was like, this guy's like, and he's dressed.
How you do one thing,
and he smelled good, I remember. And I was like, this is like really weird. And then, so he's like, so I was already thinking this is great. And I was like, 200. And he's like, 200 people, staff members. And I'm like, well, why do you still drive? And he's like, well, for 14 years I've been doing this. And how I get my clients, so I just say hi to people and I give them my card. And this is how I get on my clients. So like, do you have a website? Nah. No website. We do it all through text and WhatsApp.
Well,
and
that's great because it shows you that you don't need to follow the actual way
rules.
that like the fucking LinkedIn gurus tell you to do it.
No, you just got to
you don't need to comment 6 hours a day. You don't need to spend like 2 years putting out content initially. If you can solve that problem by just reducing the time to results.
It's like all you've got to do. Can we go to new page? Yeah. How do we do new page?
Just hold us down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like when we think about LinkedIn or anything, right? And again, I just say that this is the camera. I'm a massive fan of content. Content is great.
But your recent posts.
Yeah.
I've actually loved your recent posts, man, about
it's just
so basically the way I kind of summarize it is all these people have been following the advice of like the LinkedIn gurus to not put out content and to not send out DMs, but to put out content instead.
Okay. So before we get to this thing, then we can talk about this because I'm very passionate about it. All right. So when we look at like LinkedIn as a social media platform, right? This is what's happening on LinkedIn, right? So I see this post all the time. Someone's like in the hook. There's like, I was posting for 2 years, and I got no clients, and now I make 10K a month. Here's how to do it too.
Revenue.
Yeah, 10K a month. Here's how to do it too. All right, let's just analyze the hook of what happened. All right. So the person that did this spent 2 years of their life, non-for-profit, posting. Could have worked at McDonald's, right? Could have earned money. Non-for-profit posting. The reason that they posted like this, because I can't write that actually. I was thinking the same. They were a child who was too scared to speak to the grown-ups at the party, so they hid away in the playground because they were too scared to talk to human beings. So they just posted stuff online to procrastinate doing the one thing that would get you clients. And then what happened is they're posting for 2 years, and then their mum's friend Kerry said, "Hey, your son Will, he's posting," and this is not a Will, I don't know if this is a real person, like your son Will's posting, he might be able to do that for our business. And then Will gets on the call with Kerry and whatever, and he's like, oh, you want to work with us? Yeah, I want to do. All right, how much are you going to charge us? And he's like, I don't know, $500. And then it's like $500. Got my first client like 2 years later, which is good because you started the business, right? It's amazing. But then started getting some more clients because you just talked about how you could make $10,000 a month posting, all this kind of stuff, right? And again, I'm sure people do good work. They work with business owners. They help them post and stuff. But the whole problem is, right, you for 2 whole years of your life, you wasted that time when you could have just literally put on your big kid pants and you could have just chatted to people. Like you literally could have put on your big kid pants and you could have just messaged 100 people and said, hey, like I'm brand new to LinkedIn. I'm looking to work with some first business owners. I know a bit about content. I noticed you're posting. Can I write a few posts for you for free?
And just for an example, when we built the agency in the beginning, we still have the agency to this day, I was putting out posts, which by the way would take me around 30 minutes a day to like write it, it's pre-AI, review it and post it. For the rest of that day, I would just be DMing. I would wake up an anxious mess like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would just go to LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I'd run a cold email campaign. I'd scrape a list.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, run a cold email campaign. Then those people who are ICP, I'd go to LinkedIn, I'd connect with 100 of them a week, and then when they accept, I would DM them and go back through my CRM continuously and just circulate it. Dude, we went from like 0 to about 20K a month in around 4 months.
That's amazing.
That was like 3 years ago, and nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Because humans will always buy stuff that's relevant to them in the moment. So I would just connect to people, and they would go to my page. They would see content. It would be shit, but they would see it. We'd go back to the
You were
DM
real.
process.
You existed. You real.
I was real, but the most important part is like the chat that I had was a landing page with them. So as long as I didn't burn the lead and I wasn't burning the lead, I would leave them be, and I would come back 4 months later, be like, hey, we chatted about XYZ. Like, are you still doing that thing with your content? And I'm like, yeah, cool. So it's my kind of question for anyone that's, or like mental model for anyone that's doing this strategy is, what the fuck else are you doing?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have clients, 100% of your day should be an acquisition.
Watching videos and mentally masturbating on it.
It's crazy
It's
though.
procrastination.
But it should just be acquisition the entire time.
I think the thing is, like, I never like to put the onus and blame the individual. I blame, like, if people truly knew this to the core, they would do it. But because the problem is that people look at, so if we think about LinkedIn as a money-making thing, how does LinkedIn make money? They get more and more eyeballs on their platform, more humans. And so when people are scrolling social media and they're consuming social media, they're in a nervous state of consumption, high dopamine. And when you're in that type of a nervous state, you just want to eat chocolate. You're not thinking about broccoli. Yeah. And so when they're consuming this, you want to see the stuff that looks and feels easy, inspiring, yeah, let's go. And they want to support other people like them. So when they see I was posting 2 years ago, now they make $10,000 a month, it's very inspiring. And so what happens is essentially the LinkedIn feed just circles shit. Yeah. It's essentially like multi-level marketing. It's like a pyramid scheme.
Literally.
So like pyramid scheme, like I was involved in one of those. It was called World Ventures. Got out very quickly afterwards as well. But like essentially like my parents had these friends that all of a sudden become friends with them every few years, and they're like, we've got this new thing. And then they bring out this new thing and they're like, the holidays or this diet pill or this fucking thing, right? And then they come back to them and then they convince them, and then my parents start telling people about it, and then they start telling more people, and they start telling more people, and then they tell more and more people. So that's like what LinkedIn is when you've got personal brand people at the top. All the people underneath are all part of their pyramid scheme, making no money because all the money goes to the top. Yeah. But the people at the top also barely don't make much money either. So the people who are actually making money is LinkedIn. You're donating your life. You die. And you're giving away 2 hours a day of your actual life to pump up this person who doesn't care about you, but the person also doesn't make money. Microsoft makes money. And so like that's like actually what's happening. And because it's all over LinkedIn in the feed, and LinkedIn wants to promote this because they want more people, because they want more ads. They want more money. They want people using the platform. Because of that, then it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So actually what's happening in LinkedIn now is DMing is easier. Yeah. Because posting is becoming more common and more people see it. But the DM algorithm hasn't changed since 2003.
And also, like speaking to customers has never changed since the creation of
that's
the bartering system.
That's the thing. Like literally, LinkedIn came out in 2003. If you posted content in 2003, it was the easiest. You could post whatever you want. You get 1 million impressions, right? Yeah. Over time, the algorithm changes and becomes harder over time. And everyone complains about the algorithm, right? Simple fact of the matter is it's demand and supply. If there's more supply on a platform of good stuff, then there's going to be less items. It's naturally always going to happen to every platform over time, unless there's less people posting, which is never going to happen.
But what I've observed as well is just looking at LinkedIn, specifically compared to Instagram, LinkedIn's less of a smokescreen, because you can literally see someone's background and Citibank and all this kind of shit. But it's faster to call. So the DM process is even faster than Instagram. So if I just have a good post on like how to fucking create a lead magnet, and I speak to someone and I'm like, literally, dude, like you have this problem with growing your business. We help people grow business with content. Doesn't make sense to hop on a call. It's a very logical thing because he can equally see if I'm a smokescreen. Yeah. Going in and seeing that I'm connected with you.
He can see that you worked at a legitimate company, you went to university, you're connected to 100 people that he knew. Yeah. You can't buy connections on LinkedIn. You have to, it's time. Yeah. If you hit connect to someone, they have to hit accept. Yeah. So like they have to. So if 50 people they know are connected with you, those 50 people have to actually accept your connection with. So they have to be like, I want to be connected to Darren. And so you can't fake it. It's very difficult to lie.
Yeah.
The only way to lie on LinkedIn is spend a long time creating an account over years. But most scam people don't last that long, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually very difficult. And they can also say who you're connected to, you're posting content, where did you go to school? Did you go to university? How much money did you spend to go there? Like it's so transparent. And like
I didn't even think of that, man.
if someone can look back at my profile and be like, Matt worked at Zoom during COVID, right? In the Sydney office. So they can go back and they can click at Zoom and they can see who worked there then. And they can just message people and someone's like, yeah, I worked at Matt, I was next to him.
Yeah.
So it's like you can verify and it's actually real with other platforms, like people can fake shit. And so what that means is that LinkedIn versus other platforms, why I like it, there's a lot of shit things about LinkedIn as well, a lot of good things, but why it's very good is people, they don't have their guard up as much.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right, content's gotten more like harder and AI is harder, but the DM algorithm, so the DMs has an algorithm, it's gotten easier because there's more shit going out. So you just put out a good piece of DM, a good message you send someone, it's actually easier than before. So cold calling in Australia is easier than before because no one calls.
Yeah.
I have a phone number in my LinkedIn profile and I've had it for 2 years, no one's ever called me. I've still got it, no one will call me from this video because everyone's too fucking pussy to call, literally. And the bare minimum people that I've called, like one kid messaged me from Australia and then called me and chatted to me after. I went and I gave him advice on his business and he made like $5,000 the next day. So I was like, you actually reach out to me. And then now we hang out and we play paddle together.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm like, you actually messaged me, so I respect you. Like you actually reached out and then he called me. So I'm like it's just very, and so everyone's just hiding. So everyone is essentially like a child, right? This is the whole entire problem, and the whole entire LinkedIn feed is telling people be a kid, you know? post for 6 months, just be a massive pussy. Like literally and this whole entire thing. But if we actually pull this out, right, and we look at the whole entire thing, right, the whole issue of all of this is that there's just a massive societal issue of self-trust. So when I showed the 6 gates of trust before, there's actually 6 gates of self-trust. The same, it runs in parallel to the 6 gates of trust. Because with coaching, they can trust you 100% that you are the right thing to do, but they still don't do it because they don't trust themselves. They still don't do it. And that's the whole entire issue with coaching and a lot of people who fail. They don't trust themselves. And the reason human beings don't trust themselves is because they consume too much stuff. Because every time you consume something, comparison is the theft of joy. When you compare yourself, when you watch videos, even this video, which I shouldn't not promote this video, but like even this video right now, when you're consuming this thing, all that's running through your mind, subconsciously, not even consciously, you take information from your surroundings. That's why you're the same as the 5 people around you. Because when you hang around with these people, that's why you had to get out of Ireland. You're like, fuck this shit, I'm out. You came to Bali, you're around all those entrepreneurs, they lift you up. They literally lift you up because your subconscious being sucks in all the energy around you without you wanting to do it. And most people consume so much educational content that they feel smarter because they get a dopamine hit. It makes them feel smart. It makes you feel like you've learned anything, but you've actually learned nothing. What it also does is as you go throughout your day and you live your life, someone's like, all right, I'm going to send DMs tomorrow, right? They go to send their DMs and they're like, but I watched this like thing with Darren and Matt yesterday and they said to do this DM strategy. I don't know if that one works. Maybe I'll watch their video again. And then they go watch the video again. And it crushes their self-trust. And so they said in the morning they were going to send 10 DMs. They didn't send 10 DMs. So in their mind is like, I don't trust myself that I'm going to follow through from my own actions. And so because of that, they don't do anything. And the nexus happens, like, we're with a lot of, I really like the people at your thing yesterday as well, by the way. We got deep on some stuff. Who was your guy who does breath work? What was his name again?
Mark. It was interesting you said that because I thought the exact same thing. Because when I see that surrounding by other people, like I've bought fucking super expensive programs to be around guys that are just 8-figure entrepreneurs. That lifts me up. Yeah. But it was interesting because for someone like Mark, he actually got overwhelmed by the fact that people were killers. Yeah. He was like, oh, I'm not there yet. And then therefore he like procrastinates on it. Whereas I genuinely think that like there's way more of an effect if you honestly think less. And I said this in my talk yesterday about the sales stuff. It's like, you can just learn this stuff and just do it and just stop fucking thinking about it. Like if you just implement it, because the thing is that there's art in the nuance, right? Like let's say you're learning the theory today. So I know now I need to do these DMs and that's it. that's one thing, mental masturbation you need to get over. But then when you start it, you get into, oh my fucking God, every single conversation is actually slightly different. And then you need to work through actually getting better.
Yeah.
And this is not even to do with quality or quantity. It's just to do with, you started something, massive mental hurdle. And then the next mental hurdle is, how do I get something better?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people create the same shit content for 7.5 years, because they're not actually committed to improving the second part of the equation, which is actually the quality of the content.
It's a huge problem, and I 100% agree with you. But I'll give you the actual reason why it's happening, because it's not actually anyone's fault. I never blame human beings, because human beings haven't changed for millions of years. They're exactly the same. It's a system. It's a system-wide issue. So when we look at these types of things, there's two types of nervous systems state, right? So the nervous system is what your body is in. So there's the fight or flight sympathetic state, which is this state. And then there's the parasympathetic state, which is the state at rest. Now, back in the olden times, we used to be 90% in sympathetic and 10% in sorry.
How long ago was that?
Like back in when we lived in K people, right?
Okay.
So we were 90% in parasympathetic, 10% in sympathetic. That's why I'm convinced that the smartest people that ever existed were the Australian Aboriginals. 50,000 years, lived their life, no fucking wars, they did great. They told all their history through stories, they're fucking intelligent as fuck, survived in such a barren, harsh land, killed it, right? Then the English people came, gave them disease and fucked them up, right? But like, they were the smartest, right? Because in parasympathetic, that's when your subconscious takes over and you do things that your subconscious does. Now, sympathetic is where 90% of people are right now and 10% are in parasympathetic. So the difference between the two nervous states is, in a sympathetic nervous state, this is why I don't like hustle culture that much, because in a sympathetic nervous state, when you go for a walk or do something, your mind is like, I need to check my phone. I need to remember that, put it in my notes. I need to do this thing. So what it is urgency. So urgency is because you've got loops in your brain and you've got open loops. I need to do this, need to do this, need to do this, need to do this, right? All the time. So in the sympathetic state, you're constantly trying to close loops. And because you've closed loops, it's like I've got 15 tabs open in my browser. My computer can't run that well. It's like a big problem. And because all these loops are open, I actually have a certain part of my brain that's turned off, which can't do long-term thinking. So there's the part of your brain cannot do long-term thinking. So what people do is they're in a sympathetic nerve state. They drink on the weekend. They say, I'm not going to drink this week. And go to the gym every day. Monday they go to the gym. Tuesday they go to the gym. Wednesday comes along and they want to order takeout with their partner. And then they don't go to the gym. But then they're like, next Thursday, oh, fucking, why did I do that? Like, I told myself I wasn't going to do it. But the problem was, when you're in a sympathetic state, you forget the promises you made to yourself because your brain's turned off. So you can't. So what people do is they're in this cycle of consume all this stuff over and over. Consume content, consume content, consume content. Like anything, like TV, reels. I don't watch anything. Like I'm a negative content person because I don't want anything to influence my brain. Because every single thing you take in, you're like, oh, I'm not listening to that. Yeah, you are. You just can't function it. Yeah, you are. Like, what are you talking about? Like, if you grow up in your life and let's say one of your parents like abuses the other one, you can't be like, no, I just switched it off. What do you mean? Like, you can't switch it off.
And if you switch it off, that's when it even comes back even stronger in different limiting beliefs.
But you can't switch it off. It came in here, you just compartmentalize it.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like, and so what's happening in society now is the regular way that people live their life. If you just live the way that TV tells you to do and everything, and you watch the news and this, you're in this nervous state. You're a prisoner of your own mind. You can't escape. You can't do long-term thinking. So what happens is you watch every movie and the CEO goes to Bali after 20 years and they do a meditation retreat and they realize my whole life is shit. Because for 20 years, they couldn't actually do long-term thinking. It's called second and third order thinking. And it only happens in this state. It's literally impossible. That's why the guy who was there, Mark, he helps people do breath work to get them into this state. Finally, they can get into the state. So part of their brain switches on because this part of your brain is the part of creativity. Now, to get into this state, you need to stop working for it. That's why I told you I don't work as much anymore. Stop working for a period of time. And the way you know you're in this state is if you go for a walk and you don't look at your phone and you walk, just keep walking, right? Sometimes it takes me half an hour, sometimes it takes me an hour, depending on how stressful my day was. I keep walking. I did that this morning. That's why I told you I went for a 2-hour walk. I walked and I kept walking and it was urgent, urgent, urgent. But when the urgent things happen, the way that you turn your brain down so that you feel safe is you don't action on the urgent thing. You don't pull out your phone and write down the notes. You say to yourself, I trust myself, I will remember it. My mind will unearth it later on. And when you do that, it tells your body, it says a signal to your body that says, I am safe now. I can now go to this other nervous state. I'm safe. That's why people do breath work and meditation, all this kind of stuff, right? It's to get into the nervous state. And Tim Ferriss talks about every high performer he's ever interviewed. The only one consistent thing is that they all meditate. But I would actually challenge that. I would say they all just enter into a parasympathetic state at least once a day.
Can you be in a parasympathetic state and be body active?
So that's why going to the gym is really good. So for a lot of people, when you go to the gym and you're just listening to tunes and you're lifting and moving and you're in a flow state, parasympathetic. Like not always, like there can be a blend of both, right? But you go. That's why a lot of people go to the gym every day.
Yeah, and even when I'm walking on the treadmill, like it's actually like a trance. It can actually be a trance.
So when you're walking and then you just start imagining things and you're not stressed about anything, that's parasympathetic. That's when creativity happens. That's why when you have a shower, you get creative, because creativity is like your subconscious brain. So like our brain is like this. Let's say that's the iceberg, and then that's the top. Yeah. Right. Underneath is the subconscious. Everything in the top layer that we're thinking, the thought that comes out is a random thing that's generated from the subconscious out. And so what's happening is that when you get into parasympathetic state, it allows the subconscious thoughts and feelings to protrude themselves out into the conscious. So that's when you have random ideas. So what most entrepreneurs do is when they do get into this flow state, they have a really good idea. Oh, fuck, I gotta write that down. Do it, action it. But that's actually what you don't want to do. You want to stay in that as long as you can. That's a good idea. I witnessed that thought. That's a good idea. And so you're in parasympathetic when the thoughts that are happening are seemingly random. But creativity, what creativity is it's seemingly random things that are put together that are logical in hindsight. But creativity can't be mechanically created. That's why AI can't write content, because it can't, it's not random in its mind. Like the whole of AI is a sympathetic state. It's closing loop, closing loop. That's why every time you use AI, it's like, do you want this thing? Do you want this thing? Do you want this thing?
You're looking for definitives.
In a parasympathetic state, there's no answer as well. But in a parasympathetic state, your subconscious is working. And when you're in a parasympathetic state, your subconscious mind can settle. That's why all these CEOs and really powerful executives, right? They always have a certain, like Bob Iger, the ex or CEO of Disney, 4:30 a.m. every day, wakes up, fucking Stairmaster. Like Stairmaster or something, he does, I think it's the Stairmaster. Every day at 4:30 a.m., right? He does that for an hour. Relaxation zone.
What?
And because he needs to get into parasympathetic state where he's just thinking about nothing. Like, what's his name? The Amazon guy, whatever his name is.
Bezos?
Yeah, if you just see what he does, he kind of just gets up, waddles around, does nothing. If you talk about his morning routine as well. A lot of people, their morning routine, if you model it off someone else, you can fuck yourself because your morning routine based off your personality type might not make you parasympathetic. It might make you stressed.
Yeah, like a Stairmaster seems like the worst thing in the world.
Exactly, but what would be the best thing for you to do in the morning? If you were to get super relaxed, what would it be?
Walk the dogs on the race.
Perfect. So that's the best thing that you should do in the morning. Walk dogs, no phone.
Yeah, always.
Like literally, and that's.
I don't own a SIM card.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't even own one.
That's perfect.
I can't be contacted outside of when I'm on Wi-Fi. I can't be contacted.
Perfect.
Worst person to call if you have a heart attack.
That's what you want. My phone's permanently on Do Not Disturb.
Love
it. Same. I got that from my business partner. But like that. So you do that every day. So you're doing that, but you probably intuitively knew you have to do this just because you have such high output, right? You have to. Like, and you probably you did this 3-day mastermind, maybe you didn't do that. Now you're like, I've got to get back and do that. You're probably like, your body's like craving it.
And actually, even to add to that, even this morning, the first thing I did when I woke up was like go to the gym, go in the ice bath, go in the sauna.
Yeah.
You know, and even like beyond the other benefits of doing it, just being in the sauna, just looking out on the rice field is just a way to, I call it resetting.
Yeah, you're actually, when you look into the distance and you see a span thing like that with a rice field, that is also a parasympathetic activator.
Interesting.
Yeah, it actually is, because you're like looking into the wall. Also, if you do that in the morning, if you do box breathing, so if you breathe in and expand your stomach, not your chest, to expand your stomach, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, out for 8 seconds, do that like 5 to 10 times. It's a way to tell your body it's safe. Because your body, because the problem with social media is that it puts people in a non-safe thing. And so when if you look up studies, you lose massive IQ points here. Your IQ decreases when you're in a stress state.
Fuck.
Same as trauma. Like if someone's in a traumatic state, their IQ is fucking gone. Like they actually can't think. That's why a lot of people, like if they have some trauma or something like that, or they can't speak up, or they're very shy in certain situations and stuff, they're like, they actually can't think. Like it's gone. This is why people who are like, someone gets abused, just fight back or whatever. It's like their actual brain shuts down. So it's like not even their fault as well. And so because of this, people don't like have self-trust because every day they're in this sympathetic state. They like the worst lies you can break are the lies that you make to yourself. No one knows the promises you make to yourself. No one other than you. But the worst person to lie to, the fucking Bible says, don't lie. People don't lie to other people, but they lie to themselves all day long. And so every time you lie to yourself, you tear a hole in your self-trust, which means the next time you do it, you overeat again. The next time you watch porn, I'm not going to do it again. Do it again. And again. And then every time you do it, oh, fuck, it doesn't matter. And so then you have no value in yourself. And because you have no value in yourself, because you're consuming all this stuff, and then what social media does is it perpetuates the sympathetic state everywhere. Because the sympathetic state is the economy of how it makes money. And so when everyone's in sympathetic, that is how LinkedIn and Facebook and all these fucking social media platforms, they make money from fucking you. Literally.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. And so they create a system or human design where you're literally stuck in your own head. And what happens when you're in a parasympathetic state is you get second, third, and fourth order thinking. That's why for you, you're like, I have to get out of Ireland. I don't give a fuck. You're probably like, I don't care where I fucking leave. I'm out. And so you did it because you're probably in your body felt like you needed to. Your actual whole body was like, probably if you went back there or you go back there, you're like, I can't. Like it's just because you it's because you weren't safe. You didn't feel safe. And so most people in this whole entire thing...
That's so interesting, man.
Yeah, so they're coming to LinkedIn and social media and Instagram and stuff because the way that they've engineered these social platforms is to make you feel like you need to, in order to belong, you have to be on the platform. But when you belong, you're a prison of your own mind. So you're kind of like stuck in the Matrix as well. That's why I love the Matrix as a movie. I think about the Matrix as sympathetic and parasympathetic. It's the Matrix. And so people are a prisoner in their own mind. So everyone who's like, just work harder and do this and this and this, it's impossible. It's like when people say there's the vicious circle of poverty, they're like, just work harder, get out of poverty. You're like, dude, you can't even function. Yeah. It's like saying run and you don't have legs. It's impossible. So you can't do it. So we live in a whole entire society, especially young people, because they consume. That's why there's this whole like this guy Hamza, who like brought out whole event. So and obviously there's good and bad of people. He's definitely in the grey. Some of his stuff I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Some stuff I'm like, I really like that you did that. So everyone is in the grey, but that's why he was able to like pull a lot of young men out of like, no, you get up at 5 o'clock, you do this, you don't watch porn. Because what he does is he created rituals to these people and then they're like, oh my God, I actually feel like myself. I feel smarter, more confident. I want to talk to people. And it like actually created that kind of movement as well. And so like, this is kind of like what's happening with the whole entire market. And so within this, like if we talk about like how to win on social media, so if we get like, not as social media before we get to the full tactics, because this is required. Like the key to winning at social media is don't consume content. No content. And because the problem is people are like, oh, I need to watch like this amount of videos so I know the tactics. Yes, you do, but you need to watch one video, not 5. If you watch this video, this is enough. You're done. Just rewatch this video 100 times. But you're not just like, and this is why people who are like, I read 52 books this year. You didn't do anything. You just browsed. Exactly. You didn't actually integrate anything. If I read a non-fiction book, right, I read 10 pages and I'm like, I have to do something.
Same.
I can't do it because you like have to action it. It's like I went with my sister, went to the markets, picked out these few books. I opened up, started reading on a Sunday 3 pages, and I was like, oh my God, I need to do something. I was like, because you so much, but most people are they're just browsing. Yeah. Which is like a huge problem, and because the problem is that when you consume content, like it makes you feel like you've completed it. So like it's like you've won the level when you haven't. Yeah. And that's why they say my favorite author, Derek Sivers, talks about this, where it's like, you should never tell other people about your goals. Because when you tell other people about your goals, it makes you feel good, so you won't work as hard to achieve it. So it's like, it's kind of like there needs to be a hidden part. and I'm not saying zero content, but like, and if you're going to consume content, just consume like comedy, things that like turn off your brain and stuff. But like when we look at all the educational content, one of Hormozi's sales videos is the only sales training you'll ever need in your whole entire fucking life.
100%.
Like it's so good. Like, and so no content is a thing, right? And after that, in order to do this as well, you need to do like some type of parasympathetic, like daily. And what's really hard as well, and I feel really bad for people about this, is some people have to work 2-3 jobs, or they're a single parent, whatever. They can't. They can't get in that every day. It's impossible. So you need to regularly get in a parasympathetic state. So, and the way you do this is just look up on ChatGPT. But like things now, to get in a parasympathetic state, a lot of it depends on your personality type. So for me, when I get up in the morning, I immediately run because I'm an ENTP, high energy, fucking I need to get out, right?
Really?
My brother-in-law is an ENFJ. He walks out of his room, gets his glass of warm water with salt and sits in his chair. It's the best way for him to relax and wake up. So everyone is different. Relaxation is different. So that's why I wouldn't prescribe a morning routine to anyone because everyone is a completely unique human around who they are. And so because of that, but to get into this state, a lot of it is like, if you do a puzzle, that's good, right? Structured dumbness, not thinking. Not thinking is a positive thing because it allows your subconscious to integrate as well. Like my therapist, he's like, the best thing I can get entrepreneurs, high performers to do is do structured dumbness. We both coined the name of it, but don't do anything. So I bought Warhammer recently. I'm going to start painting
Such a
Warhammer.
fucking nerd.
Literally, because I did that when I was a kid. So I'm going to sit in front of the TV. My partner will watch reality TV. I'm going to sit there and paint fucking Space Marines. Literally, that's what I'm going to do. And so for me as well, like I go for walks at night. So every night now I go for a walk and I can take my dogs and I bring AI and I vent my thoughts, but I'm an extrovert, so I need to speak to get things out. Okay. So I use AI and kind of vent to it and it talks back to me. So I do that, morning running, but like also like consistent sleep times, like all this other stuff, regular exercise, consistent sleep times, low stress, alignment with what you're doing, like all that shit. Because I am like so convinced that every single problem in life is because people are in a sympathetic state. Like every fucking ADHD problem, anxiety, depression, like I had generalized anxiety disorder when I was 27. Like for 6 months, I had to move home. I was fucked. I would wake up in night terrors. Like I thought I was going to die. I had full pain in my chest, tingling in my hands, like terrible. I was constantly in a sympathetic state. I never gone to parasympathetic, which was so bad. And so this is like, but if someone's like a parent and stuff like that, it's like it's difficult. Yeah, 100%. Right? But like and if someone's in a very bad situation in life, also difficult. So when someone's like working multi-jobs and trying to do this, impossible. So it's like when someone's like, oh, they can just get themselves out of it. No. And when fucking there's this guy, I can't remember what his name is, but like I really like him, Patrick Bet-David. Yeah. I really like him, right? But some of the stuff he says where he's like, you know, I'm an immigrant, I got myself out, I did this. No, dude, you were born with a very high IQ. Literally, the number one predictor in life of success is IQ. Really? Yes, IQ. So other than when you grew up, the suburb that you grew up in, the surroundings and all that kind of stuff, like that is the number one success rate. But if we look at personality types versus IQ, personality types, the best personality type to have is very high conscientiousness. You do what you say you're going to do. So, and it's pre-programmed into you that if you don't, you feel like a fuckwit. Me, I don't have that, so I have to create it for myself. 5 times higher likelihood of success is IQ. So there's a book by a guy in the UK called Akala. So he's one of my fucking favorite books I've ever read, right? He talks about how he grew up in like fucking hood of London, right? He's like a African-American guy. I think he's half Jamaican, half something as well. And he talks about in his book how the system is fucked. He talks about how racism, it's not racism that's the problem, it's classism. And the only way he was able to escape that was 1, he had a tutor who tutored him throughout his life. 2, he's a very high IQ. And so IQ gets suppressed when you're in a suppressed state, but he was able to come out so he could think about multiple things at the same time so he could get himself out. Yep. So when people are like, oh, I got myself out, no, fuck you. Like you just had a higher IQ. Like that's what actually happened as well. You got lucky and you had a higher IQ than other people. But if someone has an IQ of an average IQ and then they're in a suppressed state, their IQ goes from 100 to 85. And so they actually cannot think. And it's not their fault. This is the problem. And so that's why if you don't get in this state regularly, it's a huge issue. But the way that society's created is you're an outcast if you're not on social media. So they literally, I don't even know if they did this, but they created a mechanism in order for humans to feel good, they need to be connected with other humans. But they created a mechanism that was like, we're going to make you have to do this so you feel like you connect with other humans. But in doing that, we're going to make you a prisoner of your own mind, so you can't do any long-term thinking, so you can never escape it. And so literally engineered this thing. But I think the problem is that back in the day, like there wasn't as much access to information, and also AI can make you learn a lot faster. So people are probably looking at me and they're like, how do you know this shit? I just went really deep and learned with AI. So I use recursive learning with AI to go deep on a lot of topics I'm very passionate about as well. And once you take multiple fields of stuff, like you take behavioral science with like human psychology and like all these things, and when you mesh them together, you realize how fucked it is. And so the way you need to do is like, you actually need to be a weirdo, and you will feel weird and not safe. And so, but some people like you and I, we were just born lucky with weird personalities. We were, you probably grew up feeling different, like, you know, and then you came out and you're like, so we got lucky. But if we didn't have the same personality type, probably fucked. I'd probably be a drug addict right now. 2 of my best friends went to jail. I dropped out of school when I was 16. Probably would be like that.
And we had a very similar background as well. I think it's like an obsessive behavior that we can
it's honestly like we both just have a very high dominant personality type, and we also both have very high self-trust, and we just back ourselves. And because of that, and we also probably have higher intelligence as well. And you can't talk about intelligence because people get really weird. Like, it's really weird. When actually intelligence isn't the biggest predictor, it's emotional intelligence. That's like 100 times better. So if you have a way lower IQ but way higher emotional intelligence, you will fuck the person with IQ. Especially with AI now, IQ matters way less.
You can see that with a typical engineer, like an not necessarily introverted, but just like someone who just doesn't get it, right? Versus like someone like that's the difference in like the CEO and like the CTO.
Yeah.
So usually the CTO just wants to be in the back, and it's fine because that's his own genius.
Yeah.
But the CEO needs to have. I just put up a clip on this. It's like you need to have an orbiting awareness as to like what Jenny's doing in marketing, what's this person doing in finance, how's that P&L looking, but like that is flow.
Yeah.
It's like it has like a rhythm and a flow to it.
Yeah, it's got really high trust with the person around you. Yeah. It's like, but like what's happening with AI now is it's democratizing IQ, which is intelligence. So it's democratized access to intelligence. So the only things that are going to matter coming in the future are distribution through personal brand, but the only thing that matters is trust. So Alex Hormozi's ex-brand guy, I watched a talk that he did. So I'm in a mastermind, Taki Moore's like top mastermind, and this guy presented and I like watched the video on it, and he talks about like because I couldn't go to the event,
was his
super
name
annoying. Oh, I remember his name.
Yeah, it's a ginger guy.
Yeah.
So I'm on it.
But like, YouTube. Essentially, he got up on stage and he's like, guys, that we're in the trust economy. We're in the trust economy. That's why brand matters. Brand makes it easier for people to trust you as well. And so there's all these things that are happening right now. And like, ultimately, like, you know, not consuming content, getting in a parasympathetic state. And you really need to build the muscle of self-trust.
And it's funny because like when I look at make an observation of myself, I don't think, do I trust myself or not? I just think that there's no other alternative but just to do the thing that I need to do.
Yeah, but that's because you trust that you're going to do it. So in your mind, if you're like, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, you'll go to the gym.
Okay. Yeah. I do that because when I was younger, the only thing that I could actually do consistently and show up for was actually the gym. Yeah. And then that fed into actually university because I was like, I'm a dumbass, but at least I can go to the gym. Therefore, I can sit in this room for 9 months of the year, which I did, by the way. I went green during university. Yeah. And I still didn't do great, but I did okay because I could stay there. And then when I went in to do some shit 9-to-5 job, like an actual corporate job, I was like, I hate this, but I can stick in it enough to do it. And even when I started the podcast, I was like, I'm shit at this, but historically I went to the gym and I went to university and I was able to do this thing. So it's like commitment and discipline in one domain is transferable with a level of self-awareness that like, yeah, okay, you're going to stick with it. If that's something you want to do.
Yeah.
Big provocative word.
I think as well for yourself though, it's like, I think discipline's got like, I think it's not your discipline that does it, it's your identity. You are the person that does it. You are.
Yeah, that's the conscientiousness.
It's like, you are. Like you don't, so for you to do that and follow through with it, it actually doesn't require discipline because you are going to do it because it's you. And it's because you've done actions and you followed through on it before because you have quite high conscientiousness. So for you, I know that if I ask, hey Darren, can you send me this thing? You will do it. But like 9 out of 10 people I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, I'll do this thing. No, don't do it. They actually don't do it.
That's like what we said about today. I was like, 2 weeks ago, I was like, let's do a podcast.
Yeah, and you were fucking tired as fuck.
And we both woke up today, we were like, oh my fucking God. And then we were like, but we're still going to do it because we committed to doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's why a lot of business owners build a lot of self-trust because, and they do the thing they say they're going to do. Now, the requirement for self-trust is action. So the problem is that human. Like I was chatting to a girl in your program who's a psychologist last night. We had a sick chat, right? She's fucking super smart, right? Like the problem is, inherent problem is humans think that their thoughts are real. Your thoughts are not real. They're not real. And your thoughts don't define you. So your thoughts aren't real. And so the only thing that is real is action. And so when we think through this, like what actually happens, right? So we go, most people have like, they essentially, the way the process goes is people have an idea, then that idea turns into a thought, right? Then they stop. They ruminate. They think about it. They think because they're thinking about it that they're progressing. Thinking doesn't progress a single thing, like nothing. It doesn't do anything until you crystallize it. That's why they say first step in therapy is to journal, because you're taking a thought and you're actually doing something, even if you're writing at seemingly nothingness. You're doing something. You're actually building self-trust. So the way that you build habits or you build anything is a thought then needs to come into an action.
This is so interesting because like it's interesting to observe through our own lens. So before I moved into software, I obviously had a tornado when I was younger, and I built a lot of it when I was younger. But when I decided to do it, and when we had like our first dashboard, all the kind of insecurities I had around it were just gone. I've never thought of them since. Just because I had an idea, I actually implemented the thought, but then I'd done action, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. Like now I'm in. Like I'm just in.
Because you had trust.
Yeah, and I'm just in, and that's it. And there's no like, have I not done this? It's like, no. Like we saw something very quickly. We saw it visually from doing something, and that like immediately got rid of any sort of thinking about what I was going to do.
Because in the thought pattern, what you build is you build what's called loops, thought loops, and a thought loop is an open tab in your Google Chrome browser. And so the more open loops you have, the more thought loops. It's like you know how you go to like a party or we're having a dinner, right? And someone's like, "Oh my god, guys, this craziest story." All right, I was walking here and there was this man who crossed the road. Oh, fuck, hold on, my phone's ringing. And then everyone just stops. And then they're like, "Fuck, what happened in this story?" And like everyone in the room is like not doing anything. It's because there's an open loop. In your mind, thoughts are open loops. So unless it becomes an action, it's an open loop. It takes cognitive bandwidth. You only have a certain part of your brain that's capable of doing these things. So people live in a sympathetic state, more and more education, more and more open loops, can't make any decisions, do no action. And so it's by doing the action that creates the reinforcement. And then the action, when it's done consistently, then becomes a habit. So James, whatever his name is.
James Clear.
Yeah, James Clear. In his book, Atomic Habits, he talks about like the action creates the habit. So he talks about how to go to the gym at night, me and my wife leave our clothing out. So when we come home, we immediately get changed. So you need to create things like environment dictates. That's why the people you hang around with, where you live, like
office.
office.
Yeah, the office
The best
is
thing you
huge.
can do if you're like a young person to like change your life is just move. Just move to a city. There's a guy, I can't remember what his name is, Scott Galloway. Really successful guy. Really like his stuff.
Professor Galloway.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like any young man, you want to do something, go to a fucking city and go to a CrossFit gym. He's like, do it. That's what changed my life in 2012. I went to a CrossFit gym. And so you just get out because your environment changes everything. Your whole thought patterns fucking change. The reason I came here because I was stressed at work because I was doing a lot of stuff. We took on a lot of bandwidth. I was like, I have to get out. I have to reframe my thought patterns and come back. So I have to do that. And so then that habit then creates that reinforcement. And then when you do a habit over and over and over again, it creates identity. This is who I am. Like let's say, like the action over and over and over and over creates the identity. That's why for a lot of people, it usually starts with fitness. Usually. Because you build self-assurance. And then what this does is it builds your self-trust. And this becomes, and that's why most, if we talk to each other in a chat, it's just like, like, you know, like if I message you and you don't get back to me for 2 days, I don't think in my mind that you won't message me back. Because I have because you proved me through self-trust before that you will respond. You just have things going on. And as you kind of like progress through business and stuff, you expect the responses to be longer. But when you are chatting, it's like, so I got my buddy James the other day who runs like an 8-figure coaching business for buyer's agents. And I asked him a question. He didn't get back to me for 2 days, but he sent me a 3-minute voice note when he was on a walk. And I was like, fucking sick. Like I knew he was going to get back to me. Because that's why trust is so important, and self-trust, especially within business and with everything, is because then if I don't have self-trust or trust in you, then I would have thought, I've got to message Darren back. Another fucking loop. This is why bad, when you don't have trust in anyone, they don't follow through on the promises. Like trust is the lubricant of like everything. And so what's happening is like everyone is like watching too much stuff, thinking they need to consume all this stuff so that they feel good enough to take an action.
So true.
Which is causing all these issues. But ultimately the only thing they need to do is an action, which is a big problem. And so you just need to take action, because when you move your body and you do something, your body registers it as a thing. Your body and your mind's connected as like one as well. And so you can't actually, so thoughts don't count as anything.
Yeah.
It's zero. It's like, that's why journaling is so powerful. Just journal. Just journal. It's weird. But the thing is, all of these things, like the undertone, or not undertones of everything, is to break into this, you have to feel like a weirdo. Like it's a requirement. It's a must occur. It must occur. If you don't feel like a weirdo, you're not doing the right thing. You have to feel weird. Like a couple of weeks ago, I said to my team, like 3 staff members in Australia, they just started. One of them had been there 2 days. 3 or 4 days. No, one had been there since Monday and it was Friday when we started. The other ones were there the week before. So like one was a week, one was 2 weeks. I was like, cool guys, in a week and a half we're hosting an in-person workshop. We're coming to the office on Friday morning. I'm sending 38,000 emails and 2,000 text messages from our system. We're just going to talk to them. They're fucking freaking out. Like Taylor got on the call, she's like fucking hearts, like going crazy. But like the action then we had the event and then 16 people joined our program, like 33% close rate. And we're still closing off the back of it. They took sales calls, they took everything because like they did all this action. Now self-trust and self-confidence they have in themselves is like so high.
And now their new identity is that they can do it.
Yes, exactly, because we've done it once. And then this creates a reinforcement loop over and over and over and over.
That's literally why we run so many masterminds. Like I did my 3rd one in 9 months.
Makes sense.
I was just like, we did one here, we did one in the house, and we did another one in the house.
Probably for you, it's easy now. You know what it's going to cost you in energy and time. So it's not easy, but for you don't have to decide. So you trust.
And there's no stress. This was interesting. It was that I basically did 0 preparation.
Yeah.
I did nothing. We organized the shit, same people from last time, same catering, and I just literally showed up.
Yeah.
And then you literally get paid to live.
Yeah.
That was literally it. And there was nothing apart from just preparing for things like you. That was it.
Yeah. And the hard thing is as well is like if you do what feels good and normal, you won't win. Like if you do, because when you like feelings, because every human being wants to feel safe because we all want to avoid pain. So like we want to feel safe, we want to avoid pain. The number one thing in our whole life that everyone wants deep down is not to die. Like really, that's the core ethos. But before that is like pain. There's so many things written about it. And no one talks about it because it's really deep and it's very difficult to like conceptualize and stuff. But like because of that, if you live your life and you Netflix and you order junk food and all these kind of things, and I'm not saying, and I think the hard thing is like people aren't bad people for doing this. They're the system that's been constructed in a way by the people that constructed the system weren't polymaths, so they didn't have a polymath is someone who understands multiple different fields.
Yep.
So they weren't polymath enough to understand the flow and effects that if I do this and then this will happen.
Second order consequences, basically.
Yeah, second, third, and fourth, fifth order consequences.
And it's also kind of like not their job too.
Well, it technically is their job too. They just don't know that it's their job too.
Yeah, but I mean like long term, they didn't anticipate that in the beginning.
Yeah, but that's the difference. So you look at American Indians, right? The way that they used to think is every time they made a decision, they thought in their mind, 7 generations down, how will it affect them?
Yeah.
That was actually what they thought. So like they were actually way smarter than people are now. So all of us now are fucking idiots, like compared to what people were back then. No one likes to admit it. So like, this is why a lot of the time I like Eastern versus Western culture, because like my partner's Indian, she thinks as a collective. So Indian people, let's say for example, and I don't know other Eastern cultures as much, but Indian people think when she makes a decision in her mind, she's like, okay, how's it going to affect mum, dad, my brother? Like, how's that? So at least Eastern cultures, so you look at cultures like China, how they're just going like fucking war, even though they're communist, right? Like they're just like thinking is like, okay, this is we are one.
Yeah.
And so when you think about Western culture, it's, and again,
individualism.
Then you flip between say communism and capitalism. And so I'd never get into that because honestly, I don't know enough about to even talk about it. But like when you think about individualistic versus like collective, wouldn't it be better if we just thought 7 generations away? Like, but and again, we can't do that because then that's just like thinking about stuff. But like ultimately, it's a system. So you've got to understand that you are in a system, no matter what, and you can't escape this. You're part of it, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter. So you have to realize that, okay, this is a system. What are the rules? What are the rules to the game I can play? And one of the rules for you to become smarter, to increase your IQ, is to get into parasympathetic state and get around other people that you are and build self-trust. And ultimately, the number one thing you can do is building emotional intelligence. That's like, that crushes IQ. Like if you have that. So when I hire my team members, I got 500 applications. So this was the process for us hiring a sales team, right? So I got 500 applications of people. I ran them all through AI to personality type everyone, based off their resume. And then from there, I asked 100 people to send me a 3-minute video of themselves. And I ran the transcript through AI to get their personality type. Then I asked 25 people to send me a 10 to 20 minute Loom video of them looking at a chat, analyzing it just with their brain. No test or anything. They had to do it live.
Did you give them that test?
So it wasn't a test. There was chats, and I said, read out loud the chat and what you're thinking about while you do it. And you have to do it on Loom.
And you gave them the chat?
Yeah. So it's live. So they can't hide it. So they could pre-read the chat. Of course, they can do that, but you have to say it live.
And you watched it?
Yep, and I watched all of it. So it was 25, and then so I said it was 10 minutes, and some of them did 20 minutes because I didn't realize there was a lot of chats. Then after that, I interviewed, I think it was 18 people on Zoom, and I did it for 25 minutes each. And then I also took the personality type thing. Then I sent them my own personality type quiz thing, where I got them to do, which was the 30 minutes.
You fucking love personality types.
Oh, it's everything. Because I want to know who was high emotional intelligence and stuff, and a whole lot of things, right? Then they sat with Steve. So then I met them in person, 8 people, went for an hour walk with them, hour and a half most of the walks. Then they met with my business partner, Steve, for an hour on Zoom. And then we hired 3 people out of that.
It's like getting into Goldman.
Like literally, because I needed to have, it wasn't high IQ. I don't give a fuck about their IQ. I care about high EQ. I don't like that doesn't obviously there's certain IQs that can't. So if you're below an 80 IQ, you can't go in the US Army. You can't, right? That's very rare. So I was like, high EQ. I didn't do IQ tests. I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, how high is your EQ? Because for EQ, the reason why that matters so much is because it doesn't matter about intelligence. Because if you have a very high emotional intelligence, imagine they're talking to a prospect in a sales chat. If they don't know the answer to the question, they won't lie. They will say to the person, I do not know the answer to the question, I will check it. Also, when they're chatting to someone and talking to them or they're on the phone, their first thought when they're talking to the person is, are they okay? A highly empathetic person. So if you look at it, so I'm looking for an ENFJ. These are like coaches are ENFJ. High F person with high empathy and high feeling as well. The first thing they do when they walk into a room, my brother-in-law's like this, is they scan everyone and then think to themselves, like, is that person okay? Is that person okay? Is that person okay? I don't do that, like naturally. I walk into a room like, where's the best conversation? That's like my first thought when I walk into a room. Now, you probably did that at your mastermind, but it wasn't probably your normal self.
Yeah, because it's constructed.
Unless you're like, I have to do this, right?
Yeah, it's constructed.
So you're doing your natural state. So because of this, ENFJ, and because they do that and they're always checking if their other person is okay, for me, the reason I want this is because for me as a business owner, I just want people I trust. And so these people require way less training and I don't think about them.
A question. Does EQ depend on the personality type? Or can you be like someone who's...
Emotional intelligence and your personality type? There's varying factors. So like, depending on your personality type, you can have higher emotional intelligence or you can build it. Or it can be from you growing up. There's multiple different angles that can happen.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but this ENFJ sounds like it's more of a...
So that's Myers-Briggs personality type as well. And so, and ENFJs, they naturally have high emotional intelligence just built into them.
Okay.
But other people could be an INFJ but have high emotional intelligence because they built it themselves.
So let's give the opposite to ENFJ. What would that be?
So opposite to ENFJ is an ISTP.
And that is? What do they do?
The hardest people for coaches to coach in the whole entire world.
And what is that personality?
So introverted,
okay,
sensing. So if we look at personality types, right? So we'll put it in the middle.
You
right?
love this shit so much, man.
Because it crosses over.
Oh no, of course, yeah. But what I'm wondering is
things.
like, can you have the other personality type, but then also naturally have high EQ?
No.
Okay.
I'm very much convinced they can't.
Can you show what it is?
So
I don't even know what it is.
So
you can delete it then.
Let me delete this one now. Okay, that's cool. So if we're looking at, so there's about 35 different cognitive profiling tools of personality types. I think there's about, scientifically, it's 35. So this one we're using is Myers-Briggs.
Doesn't Jordan Peterson have his own? Some shit.
Oh, I fucking know. There's a lot, right? The great thing about AI now is like you can gain a lot of people's personality profile, more data, as long as they're saying what's going on in their head. Because a lot of people lie. So like Myers-Briggs. And so we've got the difference between, okay, so we've got introverted versus extroverted, intuitive versus sensing, thinking and feeling, and perceiving and judging. And so when we look at these, introverts naturally get more energy being by themselves. Extroverts get more energy being around people. I'm an extrovert, I get more energy doing this, right? Although sometimes I'm quite shy and I don't say as much stuff. That's not because I'm not extroverted, it's because when I was younger, I would say a lot of stuff and people would look at me like I'm a weirdo because I'm a bit strange. So introversion and extroversion is like quite different as well. Now there's varying degrees. So someone could be like 40% and 60%. So there's a ratio. And within these degrees, there's maybe 20 subtypes and 30 subtypes. So there's 50 and they can interchange. So when someone says I'm an E, whatever, they're very different people. And this is just one of 35, not including your whole entire life experience. So there's like, so when people say, I'm this, it's like, these are just leading indicators of how your brain works. Yeah. So it's not, so people get really offended when they're like, I don't want to be boxed in. It's like, it's kind of like it's an indicator of something as well. And so if I look at, so there's introverted and extroversion, there's intuitive and sensing. So intuitives, so sensing are personal trainers, love their body, thinking about their body, they love looking at other people's bodies, improving their bodies, they love movement, like they're very kinesthetic. That's a sensing person as well. They care about holidays and what, like my mum is very much like this. She really she remembers how that fucking caramel ice cream gelato tasted in Italy. She remembers exactly how it tasted because she's so in tune with her senses. Because of that, my mum's very, very good with babies. My brother's had a baby, she fucking just knows what to do. Sensing are just like, they're in touch with themselves.
And what's the other one?
Intuitive. So I'm an intuitive, right? I'm a thinker. I care more about what doesn't exist. So when I was chatting to one of your, I can't remember what her name was yesterday, she's a psychologist, we were chatting about things that aren't real. And so, we were chatting about personality types and this and this. So this isn't real, it's not tactical. So if I'm speaking to my mum about this, she's just fucking gone because she doesn't care. But if I talk about, how good the food here was in Bali, she's, oh, fuck, what's this? Like, and because that's what's, and so there's different degrees of intuitive and sensing as well around how people are. Now, then there's also, and a lot of the time, depending on their type, intuitive people can kind of make shit up. Sensing need to be a bit more regimented as well. That's a broad stroke as well. So that's why I wanted to hire extroverted with people. Intuitives can make shit up. Very good at like
I think I would
making
be
shit up.
EN.
And so then we've got.
So I think like of that I would be like more E, but not 2E, and then N, but not 2N.
But you can be varying degrees. Like people can be different extremes, and this is one of 35. So like there's and this doesn't include every life experience you've had in your whole entire life, every single of the thousands, probably the billions of thoughts that you've had in your brain, every experience you've had. Like so people get offended by this stuff, right? It's not everything, but it's an indicator. And then we look at thinking and feeling. So feeling is empath. They feel what's happening. I don't feel. I'm quite thinking. Like I have to like try and turn on my empathy. Like I have to try. So like my brother-in-law is very empathetic, and he walks in a room and he's like, I feel how that person feels. I can't even explain it. Like I can't even explain it. I just take it feeling wise. And so feeling and thinking, and then we've got perceiving and judging. Now people who are judging, I think this is where we're slightly different. So I'm very much about, this is like ideas and exploring. Judging is like essentially about doing and closing off and executing and completing.
Very much so.
Yeah, so you, like most successful, very high CEOs and stuff are ENTJ, high IQ. That's who they are. Like usually, because you actually have the perfect skill set, and also for yourself, for you to downgrade into a parasympathetic nervous state, you don't need as much like off-ramp time, deload. So like you don't need it as much as I would. So because I'm too many ideas generating, it's like fucking an explosion. If you just had the team is sorted, the systems are done, I work 10 hours, it's completed, I'm good. Like,
and I don't really think about anything, man.
Yeah.
Like
so this isn't thinking. It's
more
kind of like, this is like, think about this as empathy over like a logic.
Oh,
So
extreme logic.
Yeah, logic. Yeah.
Extreme logic.
Yeah. So you might be like a 90% logic. You might be like, let's say you're an 80% this, and let's say you're a 60-40.
Here's a bit kind of blur.
Yeah, let's say you're 50-50 maybe.
But of this, it's like I said this to Liz the other day, which is like I have never thought about a decision ever. Even like today, it was like it wasn't even.
If it makes sense.
But even like today, it wasn't even a thought that we wouldn't do this today. Like, it wasn't even a thought. It was I had to get back. I had to get this set up. I got to get cameras. I got new SD cards. Swap this out. Move this in. It just didn't.
That was because you have high self trust and conscientiousness. You already decided. So you already decided 2 weeks ago. So you trusted yourself to make the decision. So you don't actually going to change. And so that's why ENTJs are very good. So if you look back at like a lot of the rulers in past time throughout life, all ENTJs
I've been doing so much study of that.
Yeah, like a lot of rulers. Like I went to Greece and I went to this city called Kavala, and I was in there and I was like, I wonder what all the famous people of all time, what personality types they were. And it's like INTJ and ENFJ. Sorry, ENTJ. Because usually INTJs and ENTJs, you actually have the ability to work a longer period of time and then down-regulate yourself after.
Yeah, that was the conversation we had the other day, which was, and it's funny because my wife's father made that observation of me because he was like super like high stress his entire life, and then he had to learn to like cool the fuck down. But whenever he's in the house, he's always like, I'm so surprised how you can literally work and then just turn and just play with the dogs.
Yeah.
He was like, that's like, he's never like experienced that. Now, yeah, I guess obviously it's still like ruminating his ideas.
You were blessed. Not blessed. You got a personality type that for the world we live in right now, it's a competitive advantage. So for the world we live in right now. And so, and AI is changing the game with things as well. It's creating more exploration for people. It's still going on.
No, that's right. You can't even hear it a lot.
No, it's annoying me.
You're okay. But it's quite. Why I love this is because sometimes a lot of people can't understand why why someone else won't do something.
Yeah, it's just the fact that like because one of the worst parts about the Bible, what I don't like, one of the quotes is like, "Do unto others the way you want to be treated yourself." Done. No, like the way you want to be treated versus your partner versus other people want to be treated differently. There's different love languages. There's different things. It's just stupid. Like, and so like for you, like, and so naturally in life, you usually gravitate towards the people that you're most similar to. That's why when you watch a movie, did you resonate with Lord Voldemort in Harry Potter?
No.
No? Okay. Who are some other people that you resonated with in movies?
In movies?
What people you resonate with in general?
Like celebrities or just
celebrities
people?
or just people, business people, whoever you respect? Like,
that's a good point. I think like I've always just like really looked up to Hormozy in the very beginning.
yeah, season ENTJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys like have, so if we look at a disc profile.
Yeah.
So disc profile is another personality.
That's where I initially learned it from
Yeah.
you, man. Like you actually taught me about this.
Yeah, so you would be a DC. So you would be super dominant, super fast, but you also calculate decisions. But like, because I know you mentioned like you don't think before, but like I'm sure like when you make the actual decisions, you're weighing it up to make sure it's the correct decision.
Correct. Well. But then I try to not look back.
Yeah, because you did due diligence, because you did think about it. And that's why Hormozy says the hardest thing for him to do was ever leave his job, because he's so high in the sea, he had to like actually think his way through it. Yeah. Because he knew if he decided that, he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, and I guess like that actually is, even in my case, when I left Revolut, I don't know, Revolut's a huge bank in the UK, like it was that decision of me and Elise, which is, are we actually going to do this? Yes, we're out. Then we're never looking back. And I was like, I'll eat fucking white rice for the rest of my life every single day, but I'll never look back on that.
So me being different to you, I'm a high DI, right? I'm the easiest person to get in a cult, by the way. High I.
To get into a cult?
Yeah. So high I people are the easiest people to like just fucking get them fucking excited. So high I. So when I change jobs, I'm like, whatever. No thinking. So I actually don't think as well. So the problem issues, so there's different issues that different types have as well, inherently as well. That's why I said to you, I can only work so many hours per day.
I was so surprised by that.
Yeah, because like I give off the energy which people, even the psychologist said to me last night, she's like, I thought you were an ENTJ. But like I'm an ENTP, but usually ENTPs are like the philosophers who just can't get their shit together. So if you look back in time, you're like, what's his name? Leonardo da Vinci was an ENTP, but like fucking 180 IQ, like insane.
Yeah.
But he never finished any projects.
Yeah.
So like, because our ideas are just fucking.
That's kind of like Tom.
Yeah.
My good friend Tom.
Yeah.
He said it yesterday. He was like, like he was sitting there yesterday saying, you know, I do all the editing and I do all the recording and I don't publish. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Too many ideas.
Yeah, I was like, how the fuck can you not hit publish on a video? And it's interesting, right?
Yeah. So when you look at it as well, like human beings, like if we look at like a society, there's like a balance of all the different ones as well. And so some are rarer than other ones. And then you like actually within harmony it all works as a whole because you need like all the different pieces. Like, and so within your business, like, you know, the best, so for you, the best customer success person is going to be very different to the best engineer. Like, and I think as well, like, you know, and I'm not saying that certain personality types can't be a certain thing. That's not that's the case. It's just that you want to live, like, realistically, like as a founder, like what do you want to be doing every single day is you want to be your superpowers. So what is your superpower? And you want to be doing your superpowers all the time.
Zone of genius.
Yeah, your zone of genius. So what are they? So for me, being an ENTP, ideas. So ideas which lead into content for me, right, in marketing. And so a lot of people, when we were doing the copywriting stuff yesterday, how I can just come up with stuff, it's because my brain just does. So I don't have to think about it. So for me, it's ideas. It's also for me leading. So I'm very like, I can create inspiration and just like fucking get people charged as well. So a lot of clients, when I meet them, I just get fucking pumped, and then because I'm good at persuasion as well, I can like back that into it as well. So ideas and leading, and then coaching for me, because I can transmit that trust to actually help people. Now, when it comes to ops, like I will fuck the business. Like if I go into ops, I fuck the business when I do ops. So I cannot, because my brain moves too fast, and you have to lay a system and let it run. And so Achilles heel on myself in business, why it took me so long to work shit out, is like ops. Because like I actually can always come up with a better system. It's like I talk to you about personality types and you bake that into your process and everything because you're like process orientated, like you're going to do it. Me, I've got 17 other things that I want to do. That's like one of the things. So that's like a problem. So you have superpowers and you want to sit within your domain of like what you're actually good at as well. And so, and because of that, then you need complementary people which have different skill sets and different interests to like, so you probably have people in your business who are very different to you, but it's good.
Yeah, that only happened quite recently because I used to always hire people that were similar to me.
Yeah.
And that was actually the issue.
Yeah.
Was that it was a bunch of people that were like me that were doing the same fucking thing as me. Whereas in the past like 2 years, it was people that are completely different like Tom, like literally vroom.
Perfect.
The guy can't like track a metric to save his life, but he's the most creative person I've ever met in my entire life. And then we have that other people then like, even like a woman's, like their approach towards the feeling is what we don't have as well guys.
Yeah.
Literally.
Empathy.
Yep, quite literally. So even having that in an organization was a huge help.
Yeah, 100%. You need that balance between people because like it's not the individual, it's the collective that brings the ideas. And
burns the ideas, bro.
Sorry, yeah.
Like one bad egg
can
fucking boil the whole thing down, no matter how good you guys are individually.
Yeah. And so now let's wrap this back up into lead generation. So if we look at lead generation, right, as a whole, so the reason why all of this shit matters around self-trust, right? The reason why it matters so much and doing what the things you say you're going to do and building this is because when people consume content or speak to people, right, their subconscious, let's see if I can spell I-O.
Don't ask me.
I think it's that. I think it's that. Their subconscious is scanning to see if the person is full of shit or not. So humans are very good if people are lying. We're very good at lie detectors as well. Really good. Like my partner's my business partner and my wife, so good bullshit detectors, right? They just feel it. And so because of our subconscious judges everything, when we're looking at people's content, like our mind's scanning their written content and also their video content, everything, our mind is scanning it subconsciously to see if the person is full of shit or not and if they have self-trust. Because people with the highest self-trust are like magnets. They bring people to them. Because out in the wild, you want the person with the highest self-trust. So a lot of back in the day, it was like the alpha person, like the strongest and biggest. So because they were the biggest, they had the highest self-trust and people followed them. But there's a lot of people who are high self-trust who are more quiet and unassuming, but people are like, oh, they're a magnet to the person. It's because they have that. And so when you have this, when you produce content and when you send DMs and when you work with your team and when you do these things, law of attraction is you attract people to them as well. And so ultimately, high self-trust gives you leverage, meaning that each thing that you do and you put out, it creates more things. So if you're a leader with super high self-trust, you can get other people pumped up because they're with you and it transfers the energy. It's like Hormozy is the ultimate example of this. Him and Layla have this like self-trust through the roof. They just attract people as well. And so they built that through evidence and action and doing. And now they did get lucky with the best fucking personality types ever. She's probably an INTJ, he's an ENTJ. And so I think a big problem that a lot of people do is they try to embody them. So you can embody Hormozy because you have a very similar personality type. So if you do what he does, you won't die. If I do, I'll die. Like I'll burn out.
And that actually is interesting because a lot of people over the past 2 years, that actually was the effect. He was like, run more fucking lead magnets, contact more people, and then they actually all did burn out. Like it's actually really
I did as well. I followed his shit and I burned out.
It's really well known, yeah.
Because he said, get up in the morning and work.
Even one of my friends, Ibrahim, like he's a hypnotist. He used to have an agency, and then he was really big on the mindset side of things, and just kind of fucking boiled it down. The most of the guys that he works with are guys that actually try to model that, and just were like, this just isn't working for me.
Yeah.
They're like stuck in their own mind.
Yeah, it was because it's comparisons and theft of joy. You're looking at other people, you try to clone them. And this is the whole problem with like people when they don't create stuff from creativity and they clone. Eventually what happens if you keep cloning is then when you know, let's say in the AI space right now, there's such a moving market that you can clone everything, you don't need to do it, that it's such a good trend.
Yeah.
But ultimately things are going to level out.
Yeah.
And then it's going to come down to people are going to follow the person with the highest self-trust. And so you look at like great leaders of all time, like let's look at like say when Nelson Mandela did his speeches, right? That guy's fucking self-trust was through the roof. Like, and you listen to his speeches and you're like, oh my God, I'm like crippled. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like, what, you know, I think the I Have a Dream speech or whatever. And you're like, you literally feel it through him as well. And so like, and what self-trust does is when we look at the best people in to do with sales and persuasion, the best people, the best salespeople in the whole entire world are people who are Christian. Because Christian people believe that if they don't save this person, they're going to hell forever, for eternity. So because of that, they have 100% self-trust and self-conviction that they have to get them to come to church. Otherwise, they're fucked. And so when you have high self-trust and high conviction, what that does is that you don't need to sell. You actually don't, because you attract, you're like a magnet. And then every single action or thing that you actually do becomes like something that is attractive. And so a lot of people say to me, like, because I've gotten quite good at copywriting and sales and stuff like that. So people say like, what scripts do you use and what this? And I'm like, nothing. I use nothing. I actually just be myself. Yeah. And I just attract and create the magnet because people are attracted to that self as well. And now I'm not saying that sales scripts are bad. I think they're very, very good because it helps you do the action to do it. But your best sales guys are probably not ones who sell the script. They do the script and they're confident.
Well, they learn it and then they understand the actual buyer's persona, which is 99% of it. Yeah. Is understand the fundamentals and then who the person is.
And then they're on the call with the person and they understand and they feel like they can help them and they transmit the energy to the other person. So the other person looks at them and they're like, they can help me. I trust this person. Yeah. Because they have like, deep and rich understanding. And so then when we're looking at content and DMs and personal brand and everything, the reason why people get attracted to like people that have done stuff, like, you know, when Will Brown spoke yesterday, right? The reason why people are attracted to him is he's like, you know, I built a business for X amount of dollars and I sold it and then I did this. So when he speaks, like his YouTube channel is a bit fucking hectic, but like it's great because like he's just himself. So people watch his videos and so they're immediately attracted.
And his nervous state.
His nervous state is this, he's calm. Yeah. And because he knows that. And I think he wrote, I was ChatGPTing his book and what was inside it as he was speaking. And I think he talks a lot about how the founder has to keep himself in the book. A lot of people talk about that. So when we're looking at like, okay, so ultimately, what the fuck do I want to do in business, right? Okay, the way I win is we look at a market and we say, whenever you're doing a target market, 90% of the market of the people you want to sell to are not ready to buy right now. 3% are ready to buy right now. So there's a difference in the market. Ultimately, what you want is you want to take as many people as you can from the 97% all the way down to the 3%. That's ultimately what you actually want. in the end. So you want to have in your DM inbox 1,000 people that trust you and that are ready to buy. That's actually what brand is. It's what you want. And because of this, how do you get them there? You need to use the 3 kind of mechanisms to get them to that point. And so what most bros do, email bros, is they send out really fucking millions of spam emails. So they're only marketing to this. But they're actually only marketing to this because only a tiny percentage of people will actually buy from someone from a shitty cold email. Only.
100%.
That's it. That aircon is amazing, by the way.
We need it.
Yeah, only a tiny percentage of people. Tiny percentage of people actually buy from them. Like ads, that's it. But like what you want to do, what Hormozy's done, is he just markets to the whole entire market. He just builds trust with everyone. So he builds familiarity and gives them value as well. And so as a business owner, to win, whether it's through content or talking to people, you want the highest number of people that trust you. That's it. Like that's like how you win. And when we look at it, to quote like Daniel Priestley as an example, right? This is the way this works, right? Is that you've heard of Dunbar's numbers?
150 people?
Yeah. And so with Dunbar's numbers, how close to science is it doesn't matter, but you can only be close to 150 people, and you can only kind of know or be aware of 1,500 people. So what Hormozy's done, and when you're close to a lot of people, you have influence on them, and influence means that if you ask them to do something, they'll do it. And that's what power is. Like you have influence over something, which is power over humans. So you can have influence over like raw materials and like nukes and shit. That's influence as well. Like that's hectic. But this is like what influence is. And so Hormozy, we probably both consider Hormozy within our 150 closest people because we've watched so much stuff. We've consumed it. But not only that, he's changed our actions. And then what's happened is he's changed our actions, like part of him or you has become part of us. And so because of that, he's in here, so he sticks in our brain. So he has a fuck ton of influence. So right now he's underpriced. In my very genuine opinion, I think he'll be the richest man in the world. He will. Because he's won over the hearts and minds of every young entrepreneur fucking in America and in the whole entire world. And these people are going to grow up to become the billionaires and they're going to want him. 100%. All of them. Because he is nostalgia to them. He's Disney as well. Disney has so much value because of nostalgia. You owe Disney a lot because you were at home and you were upset, but you watched Aladdin and you felt good. You watch Milan and you're like, oh man, female empowerment, and that helped me empower through my life. My wife's favorite movie is like Milan, Disney movie. And also within that, you can also know 1,500 people. So the way you win in business is you only have 150 people that can be in your brain and 1,500. But what happens if 1,000 people are in your 150 and 10,000 people are in your 1,500? You have influence over more people and less people have influence over you. And that's like winning. But the key is they need to be your target market who you're selling to, because you can have influence over a whole bunch of people who you don't even sell to, which 100%. Again it's still influence as well and still has value. But if you're trying to make money, this is why a niche matters, because the more you can talk about one specific problem a specific person has, you can then own and become in their thing. And so that's how you kind of that's like what we call winning. And this is why personal brand is important, because ultimately what's going to happen is the people who are going to win are the ones who have the most. 100%. Ultimately, that's what's going to go.
And that's what scale is too, right? Like that's the whole idea, is like, how do we go from the exact same message for 10 people, but for 1 million people without having dispersed messaging?
Definitely. Yeah, and you can also the other thing is you can do through partners. So you could influence 10 people and they bring in people. So Richard Branson, the way he works is he doesn't try to market to everyone. He's got a big brand. So if he wants to start, there was a story about how he wanted to start a company. And so what he did is he wanted to start a certain company, a certain industry. So he called up the CEO, who was the second in line company. And he said, do you want to run the company that's going to be number one? He's like, yeah, cool. I'll help you raise 50 mil. I don't know if that was the exact number, but part of the story is just the message. I'll be raise fucking 50 mil. I'm going to make you number one. And he's like, sure. That's what Richard Branson, that's his work. That's what he did. That's what brand does. Because brand, the higher your personal brand is, the more people have trust in you, the more they'll comply with what you say to do, which is really powerful. And so when we're looking at the whole entire system of personal brand and content, which is like getting leads and making money through content, is it's really a trust system. How many people can trust you of your ideal clients? Now, the way you build trust is you do it through content, you do it through conversations with chats, and you do it through conversion optimization. And that's your systems. And so when we look at content, that's selling one to many, right? It's leverage. But the problem with content is like, if you're selling something for $5,000, no one's going to click and buy online. Unless you're talking more and you're a fucking unicorn. Yeah. Unless you're Alex Hormozy.
And you've done it for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
20 years,
so for everyone else, if you want to play on easy mode, you chat. Right? Like I sold like 500 people over WhatsApp. So they paid me between $3,000 and $25,000 through WhatsApp. I never met them. It was really hard. Like now I do sales calls. It's way easier. Yeah. So my team does sales calls because you build rapport and you build trust in the call. And so one to many.
So it's about how fast you want to go and how much money you want to make.
Yeah, and different points of where your leverage is as well. So that's one to many automatic. This is one-to-one manual. Now, obviously, I think that's how you spell manual. One-to-one manual. Now, obviously, AI conversations are coming into the mix as well. Now, it's not fully there, but it can assist it. But like, think about you meet someone at a networking event. This is one-to-one. Now, in person versus online and a DM, all they are is they're what's called modality of trust. So in person is the most effective way to build trust with someone is going on a holiday with them for 3 days at a mastermind like this. Literally. That's it. You'd form a deep relationship with the human. Yeah. If you send someone a DM over time, it might take a year, right? Yeah. So modality matters. That's why sending voice notes and videos matters. Now, conversion optimization is, I'm going to opt in for your content landing page thing, and I've got you in my system. So I'm selling to you one-to-one automatically, emails. I'm distributing directly to you. So when we look at this, it's kind of like content, DMing and sales, and then email. This is the system, landing pages, funnels, all this stuff down here as well. And so the whole entire point of all these things is to build people enough trust so that we look at the 6 stages, is you want to move like heaps of people all the way to stage 5, because when they're at stage 5, they want to book a call and then they close. Yeah. Like ultimately. And so, and you can get someone from a 3 to a 5 in a call. That's the benefit of sales. You can build trust. That's fine. That's why brand works, because Hormozy has 1 million sixes. 1 million people at identity. So for him, the best way for Hormozy to make money, which he will do, this is my prediction, is he will open up a venture thing where he'll say, just give me money and I'll invest it in my companies. I fucking 100% guarantee he will, because he's going to realize school is a big bet with communities, but why don't I just get all these young people to just give me the money and then we'll invest it and build it, and that's what will happen. Like I 100% guarantee it. And I'll give him 50 grand. Yeah, I will do it. Everyone will, because he's got so much trust. So that's how he's going to become the richest person in the world.
It's funny, because, and even like I was actually thinking about this last night. We can even wrap up on this point about how when he sold Alan in the last company, he was sitting on like 50 million roughly. Well, as well as the cash that he had, and he went into a family office. That's what it was. Constitution.com actually is a family office initially. Yeah, and he already had enough money to do it himself because he understood the full end-to-end spectrum. Yeah, how to get leads, how to close them, how to deliver them. So that allowed him to not be this founder who sold a company and then basically fucked the whole thing up. Because that's so common, right? Yeah. Someone sells a tech company, there was some random nerd, they have no idea how to get leads, close them, or get them on calls. So as a result, he kind of basically allowed himself to build a PE firm. Yeah. And now, like the next stage of that is, as you said, people are like, Hormozy is like an ETF, and you just put fucking money into the ETF.
Yeah, guaranteed. Personal brand is going to be the ETF.
That's exactly
that's like what they did kind of with what was that thing for ages Gary Vee was talking about, where you buy like someone's rights to their NFT.
Yes. So
there'll be a blend of that NFT which will come about, because then the people who have the most value have the most influence and the most trust, because it's all a trust system ultimately. Yeah. That's why nowadays, like, to win immediately on social media is like, if you post stuff for likes, if you feel good, but it's not actually real, you need to post stuff that will probably get less likes, because if you post niche stuff, less people will attract to it, but also you're taking them off the platform. And so it naturally is going to happen. And I've tracked this. Like, I'll show you people's posts where one client who got 21 likes and 52 leads. So, man. And
I think you just have to come to terms with the fact that that's what actually makes money. And if you're happy with that, you have to go on.
And the way you track it, which I can show, is you track how many opt-ins do you get on your lead magnets when you post content. Do a TOEFL and do a BOFA. Just watch. Like, the likes and engagement. Like, the thing is, like, people think like it's either likes or leads. It's not, there's a blend. You blend. So the post I did today was a tofu post, which I'll walk through, and I did it for brand because I didn't want it to, a client who came to your mastermind, Jasmine, like she came here and like I met her and did this tofu post. It was inspirational, but that was the purpose because I want to build personality. I want to build like how I'm meeting my clients. We had a great time. Like that's, and there's a blend of both as well. But if you do track, like it's hard to track the inspiration and the trust versus that.
I think you just have to like, it's like ping pong, right? Like you have to, if you're just at the bottom of the funnel, you're going to fucking build nothing. You're not going to go, can I borrow that for 1 sec?
Yeah.
Your pen?
Yeah.
Sorry. If you have this like warm audience here, this is warm, this is hot, and then this is cold.
Yeah.
You are just targeting these people in here, whereas you need new people to come into
your
cold
world.
and then be like, oh, who the fuck is Matt? Oh yeah, he does this LinkedIn thing.
Yep.
Leave it at that. And then in 3 months' time, they start moving. They're like, I like this guy. And then you're running like a webinar, a workshop, or some shit, and they come into hot, and then you strike while the other's hot.
You're 100% correct because that happened to a guy who came to my paid workshop.
Yep.
He told me, he's like, dude, the first time I saw you, I saw a photo of you and your wife in your wedding attire and thought it was just cool.
Yep.
That's literally what happened.
Yep.
And then reached out to him by text, hey, dude, do you want to come to a workshop in Sydney? And then he said, I didn't know you're in Sydney. And that's sick. And he came and he bought and he's in the program.
Yep.
Like, and so, 100% agree with you. There's difference, but I think the thing is like, it's like the pendulum swings too far on the brand side and not enough on the lead side. Because every time you post for the brand, you get more like notifications, which is dopamine, which is less. But when you actually have a lead magnet link in your post, then you see the difference and you're like, oh. You're like, oh. Like, and I'll show you a client, Jamie King. I'll show you his actual post now. One HubSpot post that he did, he got like 600 likes. The second post that he did, the other post, he got 30 likes, but he got a meeting and 3 leads on the other one. And so like, that's the difference of like, and what's really hard is most of the content on LinkedIn algorithm doesn't actually cater towards like business owners. What it caters for is the employees, sitting on the toilet, hating their life, looking for a dopamine fix, trying to feel smart. Yeah. And so like, that's also, so that's like most of the content perpetuated on the platform is like, I escape corporate life. I hate my manager, all this kind of stuff.
No, make 10K a month.
Yeah. And it's people who, and I'm not saying making 10K a month is bad or it's a small amount of money or anything like that. If someone's done that, that's very aspirational. They broke out of the matrix. It's super good. But the problem is that what's happening is that people learn to write for the algorithm because they're writing, the algorithm is giving them engagement. Yep. And so that creates like a false sense of reality, which is really, really difficult. But if you're selling that type of niche and that's what you sell, then that's okay. But that's what LinkedIn promotes. And so when we look at this whole entire system, what are you trying to do with whatever you do? Right? So I always like to think what must occur for you to build a business. So if you're in a service-based business, you must talk to a lot of people, or at least talk to a partner who talks to a lot of people. Like let's say you're like, oh no, I got through partners, but you still have to talk to the partners. Yeah. So it must occur that you have a lot of conversations. So the point of content is to use it to start conversations because that must occur. And then also the point of the content is also to maybe push them into your landing page to later then want to talk to your team. It must occur. So the only thing that must occur is conversations. So I built businesses off cold calling, cold emailing because it must happen.
Same.
Yeah, so it must. And so I'll show my business partner's profile where he doesn't have a profile picture. He doesn't even say he works for me, and he doesn't even do anything. And he closed 100 grand in 3 months. He never posted. It's because it must occur. So the problem that most people get is they start doing the stuff online and then they think business is fun, because they're getting gamification notifications, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But actually, like the money's in the uncomfortable things. That's why everyone says, like, what does Tim Ferriss do when he wakes up? What are the 3 most anxious things he's thinking about? And he conquers them. So ultimately, he's trusting his self-trust. He's got ultimate self-trust, and he's trusting his subconscious that he's going to take an action. And so, like, ultimately, this is good. And the people who attract the most people through trust and content, the ones who have the highest amount of self-trust because they follow what they say they're going to do. That's why the people who usually win are people have a lot of social proof because they've got a lot of evidence. Because people are attracted to people with evidence because that subconsciously shows that they've got self-trust. This is like LinkedIn, right? So we look at the 3 pillars, right? And everyone says my profile, my profile, my profile. Your profile is like a certain percentage of it. So when we think about LinkedIn and the leads on LinkedIn, people think leads are a warm person who's like, talk to me. Yeah, that's a unicorn lead, right? Leads are these 10 people that sent me a connection request right now. They're all leads. Because they saw my content of me talking about my stuff and they've engaged with me. The second thing that's a lead is someone who's followed me here. People who viewed my profile, also a lead.
Yeah.
I can begin a conversation with them, right? It's great. Also a lead anyone who's liked or engaged on my content, also a lead. Now, the caveat is, of course, this is a tofu post, but 80% of my posts are bofu. Like, so 80% of my posts, not bofu, they're like talking about what I do. So if someone likes this, they would have seen the other stuff. And then I can start a conversation with it. So I can see who liked my stuff and who commented on it. Now, we built software which actually takes all of the likes, puts them in Sales Navigator, runs through your filters and puts back in our system. So you can only reach out to the right people, because if I have to scroll through 274 people, it's fucking impossible as well. And so these are all leads. This is the thing, right? And so from this is content which is building trust. Now, when we go back here, right, what do you want to do with your content to then capture people on your landing pages, right? So the key is, what you really want to do, go down here, is you want to put links in your posts. So here I talked about a post here, and I said, here's 10 free courses. So 10 links in the post.
Fuck,
and then so I go here, all right, cool, and then someone gets the presentation. And so in my back-end system, 38,259, right? And so I can see all these come in. And so what this does is it syncs all of my LinkedIn messages. So I don't use automations, but any messages that comes to me and I send out, it syncs here as well. And then any lead that comes in. So Joshua, who came in, who's in Australia, make sure you blur him out, obviously, is I can click here and I can see, okay, Joshua, I'll be able to go back, look at his LinkedIn profile, and then I can see what is the free training he purchased. And I also see what's the other email that he did here. And then I can scroll down and I can see what are all the other things that he opted in for. So if I look at like my a client of mine, right? If I search Randy Molland, because you want to know who's stalking your stuff, because binges are buyers. So Randy consumed 21 free things before he bought my thing, because people stalk now. So he was created on October 9th, 2024, and then he ended up purchasing in February next year. So this is how you track this. Because so I track from the new system we've actually built. Anyone who views my profile, connects and engages with my stuff, tags in here. Anyone who opts into my stuff, tags in here. And so I have all of the things. And so then all I can do for my sales team is my lead sourcing guy, Harris, comes in there and he just looks at who's downloaded all the stuff overnight and who's binged it all.
How do you keep it organized?
How do you keep it organized?
Like your CRM, like how do you keep it organized?
So in here, here's all the contacts and leads. I can search by phone number and all these different stuff.
So when you go back to pipeline?
So if I go to opportunities over here, the way my pipeline works is everyone that opts in for a lead magnet and every single person that sends me a DM on LinkedIn, what it does is it syncs it here in the notes. So either me or my team who is messaging them, because if I can't get back to it, my team has to message people, it tags them in here. And so I just have one pipeline from start to finish, which has everyone that I've got a chat with who's qualified, opening a chat, qualified, meeting proposed, meeting booked, right? And then meeting booked over here. Now, the trick is most people think that you book a meeting in a day. Some of these are chats for a year. Yeah. Because it's not ready. But I'm building trust. I'm nurturing. So I build a trust system and a lead system. That's what actually works. And so because of this, I've got this. And so I've launched these are all my lead magnets, 128 lead magnets in about a year or whatever. So I just constantly make free stuff that my clients want in sales calls. And then I just push people to these pages where they put in their information and they hit submit. Now I've got like a 2-step funnel. The second part of the funnel, what it does is it says, hey, free bonus, get a LinkedIn mini course matched to your stage of business, up value up $300. It's further qualification. What's the highest stage of business you're at? Current business, describe yourself, what's driving LinkedIn, how's your business going revenue-wise, what's got you stuck? And then whatever they select with what's got you stuck, gives them a 5-day email course. And so then I've got I know all their qualification, and then I know what they're interested in. And then I don't even have to get them now. And then from this whole system, then when I wanted the people at the workshop, I just went to here and I just went +61, which is Australia. I got, it's in more filters in the phone. And so this is obviously Go High Level, but we built a white labeled version for LinkedIn.
This looks better though, Go High Level. Go High Level.
Yeah, because my business partner built the whole thing. It took him 9 months.
The design is really good.
Thanks. 2,069 people from Australia. And so then I just go fucking grab them all, fucking text message or WhatsApp, boom. So I'm tracking LinkedIn, email, WhatsApp, text, all in the same contact as well. So I can see everything that's happening across the board, which is 100 times better. And we're able to do this because we don't use any automations. So I don't automate anything with LinkedIn. Yeah. Just because it's too dangerous.
So when you're working with LinkedIn and the API.
So what we had to do is we had to build a connector So we built this app called Link Ninja. And what Link Ninja does, if we look under Link Ninja here, is, oh shit, I'll log back in. Let me, you guys will blur the password out.
Yeah,
Link Ninja. Yeah, so what happens is, so Link Ninja acts as the point between LinkedIn, Link Ninja, and Growth Mode, which is the same. So Link Ninja here, we had to build this software itself so it does a message sync. So it syncs all your messages with Growth Mode. So we had to build this connector. So, because that's the only reason. Because so LinkedIn's messaging endpoint's not sensitive. So like you can pull the messages fine. Because they're your messages. Sorry?
How far can you pull?
You can pull them forever. You pull all the way back in time. The whole of your history. You can actually data export.
I saw that,
you can data export every LinkedIn DM you've ever sent.
But through a third party?
No, through LinkedIn. So
no, but what I'm saying is like, in the API for LinkedIn, can you go back to all your messages?
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to do it through the API. All you have to do, like, so the way that we'll do it is like you go into settings and then you go to account data privacy, get a copy of my data, download, and then it sends you every single thing.
Fucking hell, man.
So like, so you can get that, and so you can go back in time, and then you go from live onwards. So you bring all the other stuff in. And so we built this sync so it can track absolutely everything as well, which is great because I've got phone number. And then what we've been able to do past that point is then we've got a thing called a lead list sync. So this is the next version which we pulled out now, which is like the best part, right? Is if I go here, I can look at, let's say this post here, I can take everyone here who engaged, lift them, put them into Sales Navigator, which Sales Navigator has filters.
I'm so surprised that LinkedIn doesn't ban that.
So I can't remember the way that we did it as well, but it was a way that doesn't use your account. So your account's not at risk.
Yeah.
Some way, I can't remember how we did it, because there's certain businesses that do that as a thing.
Yeah,
so we use another software.
Like Taplio and stuff got really fucked up, right?
Yeah, so Taplio, because that does it through your account, but there's other businesses, what they do is, so it's not through your account and not through other ones, it does some other data thing that it pulls off. So you're not like in trouble. So, because it won't know that it's you.
Because like the whole thing with, okay, so at a high level, because this was the issue that I had with LinkedIn, which is being able to expose the data in the API to be able to have a visualization of the data.
Yeah, so we can do that. That's fine.
Can you actually though?
Yes, we've done it.
No, but I'm saying, yeah, but like I know you've done it, but is there an issue long term with it?
No, because Steve, my business partner, was able to use so we use multiple different tech platforms, which is kind of his secret herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Of what he
He's
actually
an
built.
engineer, right?
Yeah, because the problem is like if you use Phantom Buster to just scrape profiles from your profile, it fucks you. But there's other ways to do it, and LinkedIn has API endpoints which you can use to actually do things, and there's certain ones that are sensitive and ones that aren't. So like,
because what we're trying to do, well, we're not actually doing it yet, but we're going to do it for our software. We stayed out of setting metrics because it's such a ball ache. As in, like, there's no forget LinkedIn.
That's why we built this.
But forget LinkedIn for now. But for Instagram specifically, no
Instagram
one was able to crack it because the API. One, you need to get approved as an API vendor. Yeah. But it would be anywhere between 24 hours and 7 days
to get the live feed.
That's the only that's available. That's the only that's available. But there's a thing that, so this is the reason I'm saying it, because for what we're trying to do, which is different from what you're doing, is we're trying to get a visualization of the data to interpret to the sales team, are they hitting KPIs or not? Yeah,
so we can do that.
You can do it with LinkedIn, but
not Instagram.
Yeah. And the use cases are completely different. Ours is not to be able to utilize it. Ours is just to see how the sales team like shit. That's basically
hitting the numbers, yeah.
Yeah, because like what I'm trying to do is, the reason why I asked you about the storage is because we're trying to pull in the data, have a snapshot of the storage, delete the data, keep the snapshot. So what I mean is like, you pull in 10 messages, you report
That's a
them to 10.
high level functionality because it's a moving thing as well, which makes it
just go out, it was just so fucking fragmented, right?
Yeah.
It's just not clean.
Yeah. I can put you in touch with Steve and then chat through that.
That's okay. I was just curious because like this, bear in mind, like no one has cracked. Yeah. There's no one in any industry that's cracked.
That's why we're excited to release it. Because it's taken us 9 months, hence why.
Because so many guys have tried to, like, I know you're kind of like interpreting the data, and for us it's way more just analysis. But the thing is that like a lot of,
because if we look at the data now, right? The way we can track the data is, and like the next stage in this part that we're bringing out is like any sales organization, our pipeline shit. So that's the problem. So I'm not an organized person, so I can't show the visualization.
That's why I asked you about how to keep up to date.
But it can, because like you can just move. So that's a data visualization standpoint. And then if you want to go to the LinkedIn chat as well, like scroll over here. Where's the?
You can read the chat from there.
Yeah, so it moves all the messages and stores them here. So you can read the chat and then you can automatically go back to the other thing. So if I go here, so if I go this person here, right? So I can look in the notes and it has the chat, because ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to take this and use AI to analyze every conversation. Ultimately, because it's storing it all in the data. But then if I go here,
bro, that is fucking wild.
Yeah, and then I can go here and then I can go, okay, cool, and it goes straight to the message. So you need someone with a dual screen setup. Pipeline here, thing over here, and that's what you've got set up, which is why we wanted to solve this, because
everything else is manual.
Yeah. So this is still manual. You still have to move the stages.
No. But I mean, documenting the leads is usually manual.
No. This is fine. And so we built this connector. But the other best thing is that the best people to engage with are the ones who view your profile, like your content, because they're warm. And so for us, we can lift all the comments from here, put them in Sales Nav, and then put them in the leads list. So if I go LM and I grab one of the leads lists, which is here, then what it does is it goes through the 500 people who engage, and then it only gives me the ideal clients who are ICP.
Oh, because they hit that criteria.
Filters. So the filters. And then based off that, then what we're able to do is go over here, and then we can go here so that they're ICP, and then the other team can reach out. And we can also cross-correlate, have they opt in for a lead magnet for phone number.
You can check.
And we can email them as well. And so we've got a consolidated data all together. And so then we look at trust building over time. So because the problem what most people do is, number one, they don't put links in their posts, which is a big problem because you want to be collecting all this data, right? So you put these links in because then you can track them in LinkedIn and here. So then you're talking to them in DMs. You're also seeing their likes and comments over here, and your content's also nurturing as well. And then because I do so many lead magnets all the time distributed everywhere as well with all different ones, you can see the multiple opt-ins that they actually have as well. And then through that, that's what gives you essentially get like, this is what we call like it's your personal brand marketing funnel. So it's like how you can track everything. And like, which pulls it all together. And so the other things that we're going to build on top of this is AI lead scoring. So you can see AI personality profiling. We're going to profile them, and we're going to read all of the DMs, every lead magnet they've ever done, every email they've ever sent. And then just, because ultimately what we'll build, it'll be done for a couple of months. You'll be able to just surface the best leads. So it'll read all the chats, and it will say, based off our AI analysis, these are the people who are ready to buy right now because they liked you. The last 2 posts, they viewed your profile and they clicked 2 links in your email, which is like done. And so this is the way how you get the thing built into it. So that's why we built Link Ninja. So it's an application that's connected to this one as well. And so, because what we're doing for our program is we've set up, so we've pulled in everyone in our program stuff. So we've got all our program people's top posts. This is our version of Clio. It's only available to people we work with. We've got follower growth, we've got follower count, and then we're going to add in revenue growth, meetings booked, because their go high level growth mode will be connected to us. So we'll go meetings booked, and then they'll do revenue. And
but
then
they have to track all the meetings and stuff.
But they won't have to because their growth mode will do it, because they're going to use our software.
Because they have a Calendly embedded.
It's not even Calendly; it's calendars in here.
Calendar, yeah.
So then we'll be able to track how many opt-ins to lead magnets do our clients get through the link. How many meetings do they book and how much revenue do they close?
How can they document the revenue?
They'll either self-report, but then later on what we'll do is we'll pull in the revenue numbers from here. But it will be self-reported to begin with. So then for us, what we'll be able to do is, the way we're building our new program is like, we have like a leaderboard of like how much money people are making.
Yeah, but that was super important.
Yeah, because I can go here, because now I can look in the past, like, okay, top posts in the past 7 days of my clients. Let's just go to page 4, and I will go, okay, Aman's post, what did he do? You post, and then we can share this data between everyone as well. And so Aman did a post over here, really great. And the other cool thing is, a lot of people hate LinkedIn pods, right? I'm not part of a LinkedIn pod, but I want my clients to be part of a pod because it fucking works. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create our own pod system in here, because we're going to create our own authored up. So whenever our clients write in our thing and they hit post, it'll go fucking to everyone here, so they can all engage. So it'll be like a prompting thing as well. Because I'm going to get clients who come in our new program to all pod each other. Because it's smart. Because if you pod each other in the beginning, as long as you're from the same time zone, similar industries and stuff like that. But the problem with podding now is you've got to put it in a WhatsApp group. It doesn't work. Because like if you post, you've got to then put the post in the WhatsApp group yourself for someone else to engage on. Or you all post at the same time, which is coordinated. Or what we'll do is like people will write in here and they'll hit post and it will just auto push it. So we already built an app for that in Slack. We already actually built that as well. Yeah, and so we're essentially just like creating LinkedIn so you can track the trust that you have with all those people, and so you can track clients. And so like when we go back to say LinkedIn, the strategy is obviously reaching out to ideal clients, talking to them, posting content, but then putting like links in your posts. So like that post over here, right? So if I go to my featured section here, and I go choose your program, and I go start selling on LinkedIn, if I go back to my system over here, and I go
That'll hit it.
my automation, and then if I go, because we built all the funnels, so essentially we're just going to clone this, and our clients just get it. So they get all the funnels. And so if I go to my evergreen lead magnet here, 13,000 people have downloaded that course.
Fucking hell.
In like less than a year.
Fuck yeah.
So last updated, the May 6th, 2025. So whatever that period is. So that's like crazy. And then I've got these like other 5-day email courses.
It was less than a year though. It was
Yeah.
October.
Yeah. It's like, and our problem isn't leads now. It's just I got to work with leads with the sales team. Which is like, you probably look at this and you're like, holy shit, my team would be able to do this. But like, if I look at say lead magnet emails, then I can look at like every single opt-in for all of my lead magnets. So I can see, so I can see what everyone's interested in as well. And so there's like pages.
Kind of works both ways though, right? Because like I completely agree with the Taki model, but like when marketing is great, sales is easy. But when it's this complicated, you really need a good sales team.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
So it's like you need it both ways.
Definitely.
Because like we have a fraction of the leads, but we work them really well. Like, you know what I mean?
The hard thing with this is like what we've done is the extreme. Most people would have 3 lead magnets and 1 funnel.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But again, Ron, you have to practice what you preach, right?
Yeah.
Like you're teaching.
Yeah. So we're like
this,
building the big system and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then when I'm coming in, if I'm looking at leads with phone numbers or there's so many ways to classify this data. So like we've had problems with like who the fuck do I reach out to? Like, you know, this person over here has downloaded 6 things. So it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
So so I've had issues around that. That's been our issue. And so, but like we've tested the extreme case. No one else is gonna have 38,000.
Yeah.
Like
To give you like a fucking comparison to wrap up on, is like, see all those guys that are cooking. If you had an Instagram story, you could just run a story sequence and just be like, ready to go?
Yeah.
Like, who's ready to go? You know,
Yeah,
and I know
so
you do that sometimes, but
my story sequence is an email saying, hey, you wanna work with me?
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Yeah. Working with 5 people, you know, but it's like, but again, you need to know who's touching the pedal, who's close to the pedal.
Yeah. And so, so that's like the whole entire system. And so the one other thing I'll show you and then we'll kind of wrap up is like the difference between likes and leads. So this is a client, Jamie, just started working with him. Like if we look at the content, right? So he did this post for like, 760 comments, likes. Yeah. Talk about HubSpot, no leads. This one here, helped him write it, 32 likes. I think I got about 4 inbound leads here, and he booked a meeting. One post, get this thing, go through the
It's
funnel.
not even formatted properly.
Doesn't even fucking matter.
It doesn't even
fucking matter. Just do the dates, fucking book meeting. It's like that's the one other one I wanted to show you. This is fucked, and then we'll wrap up. Is because I said it before. So Pedro, he's a client as well. He posts some hectic content.
Yeah, bro. I saw those memes and I was like,
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ,
God.
bro.
Yeah, and so
So man, if this guy's getting leads, we're all getting leads.
No, he is rushing. Like so this post, this is a template that I use. My client got this result. Here's how they did it. Steps, link to register. 23 free people registered from this. You got 26 likes, but even better, look at that. He's throwing a midget. That's crazy. And so this one here, 21 likes. He got registered masterclass, 52 people coming, or 51, made 37K off that. And so you look at this, and it's kind of a shitty post with all this, and you're like, likes don't equal
100%.
It's like so now what we can prove is I can prove through data.
Yeah.
Which is different as well.
Yeah.
Like it's like you actually prove the data.
Versus like every fucking creator saying, this is how I feel and this is how you should do it.
Yeah, and it's like it's different from a feeling from dev because you track all your sales numbers and where they come from. So do they book a call from YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn? And so you know what's like working.
Yeah.
So nothing else matters other than the data. And so that's what we've had to communicate with clients, like how it actually works.
Man, it's making creators move from being a creator to a fucking business owner.
It's just, and the hard thing is like most creators got into it because they weren't business owners and they don't like that stuff. But like the thing who I target is business owners. That's who I want to work with. I want to work with business owners. And, And the problem that I have at the moment is like 99% of people are dodgy on LinkedIn. So the problem that we have right now is like, I've shown you all this tech and stuff and you're like, yeah, no one else does this. But like from my profile and everything, it's very difficult to differentiate between. And so our new funnel is going to be an audit. So it's where we go through, we ask them questions about their LinkedIn application, we do an audit, my team gets on the call and we show them the whole system front to end. And the person's like, got it. And then if they look at other competitors, they're like, that's not even, we're just posting once a day.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. But that's everything.
That's fucking insane. Big well done. Big thank you for everything, bro. That's fucking unbelievable. I think that's going to be a huge, huge tool.
It's going to be fun.
I just think that like no one has done like proper LinkedIn tools because I don't know.
We didn't build a LinkedIn tool because even if you look at Authored Up, right? Why did Clio get banned? Because they take up the screen. That breaks LinkedIn's terms. So if you do this, break LinkedIn's terms. So we couldn't even build a chat thing. Because you fucking can't. So what we're going to build is we're going to build a Chrome tracking thing that every time you click and do stuff, it does it, but it won't go over LinkedIn. And so we're not scraping comments. All we're doing is we're pulling the DMs, and we have another way to take the profiles from sales now, so it's not sensitive. So it's very difficult. That was my business partner did. Really hard to do because the worst thing you want is you build a LinkedIn software that breaks their T's and C's, and you get fucked.
Big well done, man. You're a fucking legend.
Thanks, dude.
That was some session.